Carl and Brendan here from Games, Brains and Headbanging Life, gbhblofficial.com for sure. And we pick our times. We're choosing to do this video on a very, very hot evening. It is 8:10, so at least the sun is dropping. But right now in the UK, it don't mean shit. Well, at least in England anyway. It's well, it's been a plus 30 degrees day again. But yeah, we're going to try and get through this. We should be hopefully okay enough. But if we do start to look a bit sweaty and uncomfortable,
visibly shrinking in front of you.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But what we're going to be doing here, folks, is we're going to be doing a Bloodstock video. And what we decided to do, after having done many videos over the years, we were kind of thinking, let's just talk about the festival as a whole. And I mean from beginning to where we are now. But my knowledge isn't great enough. So what we're going to do instead is look at the lineups of each year and really just kind of see where the festivals come from, how we've got to where we are now, in particular focusing on the new blood stages, the unsigned stages and stuff like that. Would we have gone if on the ones when we didn't, based on the lineups? And in some cases, where are they now in regards to certain bands who, I've already seen some names in like the early 2000s and I'm like, oh, wow, yeah, look at that, Yeah. Do you remember what you were doing in 2001?
I don't remember what I was doing last week.
Which I mean, would you have been going to any gigs, do you reckon, in 2001? Or
yeah,
many
I
gigs?
think not many, no. I'm just trying to think. Right. I'm trying to think like I would have been going to gigs. Pretty confident on that. And I think I would have been going to gigs reasonably regularly by then. But I don't know about festivals. I know I wouldn't have done like a sort of weekend-long camping festival by then. It was probably more likely, one day. And what I was trying to remember was what year Metallica's Big Day Out was, because that was the first sort of one day I went to. 1999, there you go.
Okay, so 2 years before. Okay,
yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, so, I mean, theoretically, but I'll be honest with you, I would say from the early 2000s, I'm trying to think when. It'll be into the 2010s before I had even heard of Bloodstock as like a brand. I didn't know Bloodstock as a brand back then. Like it wasn't, it obviously didn't get like big press coverage. We didn't have social media the way that we do now. Like, do you know what I mean? So I didn't know, I wouldn't have known about it. But I also think back in the early 2000s, I would have probably been going to gigs for bands that were big or what I saw as big. I went to Big Day Out because Metallica were there. I was probably going to see Machine Head and Cradle and people like that. So I don't think I would have necessarily looked at a smaller festival's lineup and been so much into that. Oh, let's go and check them out no matter, like, even though I don't know them. I think that kind of came with age a little bit, and wanting to move away from the mainstream and sort of like check out, the underground more.
I think you've nailed it there. I mean, I asked that question because, of course, folks, Bloodstock started in 2001, but I can tell you right now, I wasn't even going to gigs. I certainly was not thinking of festivals or days out, and Bloodstock was certainly not anything I was aware of. Well, I would have been 16, so yeah, not aware of it. But yeah, it started in 2001, of course, as an indoor festival where there were two stages, the main stage and the Darwin stage. Now, that earlier on, this shows you how tired I've been today. I spent a good 5 minutes trying to Google, why did they call it Darwin stage? And like, it's like, oh, right, it's got to be Charles Darwin. It's got to be related to that. It's got to be evolution. And it's like, okay, this actually makes sense as a kind of like the unsigned band kind of stage, evolution. I thought it was kind of clever. I could be completely wrong and it could be a totally different reason, but it just sort of like maybe it took me 5 minutes to come up with that.
Probably, yeah. Sponsored by Michael Darwin, who runs a local coffee shop.
Probably that's the joke. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But yeah, on the Darwin stage, weirdly, it took place on a Monday in May. And that I find fascinating in itself, because it's like, oh, okay, Monday.
Bank holiday Monday, though, isn't it? Last Monday in May.
20th of May. Of course it is. Slam Dunks weekend, of course. Yeah, good catch. Folks, if you, I perpetually suffer from this problem of never know when bank holidays are, because whereas a large proportion, or at least the majority of people, bank holidays are a day related to work and all that, for me, they mean nothing. I work just like any other day if I'm booked on to work, so I don't think about them, except for, but yeah, great sheer, absolutely right. But anyway, Darwin stage. So Bloodstream, Occupational Hazard, Evoke, Underrule, Consumed Freebase, Return to Sabbath, and Orange Goblin. Now, one of them I know, of course, and I suspect the same for you.
Yeah. Yeah, Orange Goblin.
Yeah, that's it, right? Yeah, I looked at that and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yep, that's the only one. I mean, obviously, as a band that shouldn't need no introduction, I think, if you're in the UK scene, but a band that recently wrapped it up. Did they wrap up? No, they did a final show in London at the Forum, but they played Bloodstock last year as their last Bloodstock. So that's quite cool, you know.
Mm.
Although not that I saw them at Bloodstock last year. Did you?
No, I don't think I did. If I
Have
did,
you
if
ever
I did,
seen
it was
Orange
only in
Goblin?
not
You
by
must have.
memory, but
Yeah.
again, like they've been around like a lot of places I've been. But
Mm,
the thing is, I'm like I've no malice against Orange Goblin, but I'm not an Orange Goblin fan. I never have been. Like I just
yep.
wouldn't have really cared. So even if I'd been at a place I was, it's most likely it would have been like in passing. I caught a song or two, rather
Yeah.
than I stopped to watch. You know.
No, fair enough. Yeah, I've never been that big of a fan myself. More in the last couple of years with the last couple of albums that I've enjoyed more. But yeah, and on the main stage we had Shadowkeep, Area 54, Dirty Deeds, Primal Fear, Skyclad, Blaze. Is that Blaze Bailey? Glenn Hughes and Saxon as yeah, that is Blaze Bailey headliners. So yeah, a lot of familiar names there. Obviously, with this being the 25th anniversary of Bloodstock this year, Saxon have been invited back and will be playing headlining the Friday of the the Thursday main stage, Thursday main stage of Bloodstock. So kind of cool. Have you ever seen Saxon live?
Yeah, at Bloodstock.
Oh, cool. Oh, of course, yeah.
Couple of years back
There
we
we go. Of
stayed and we had the whole I think
course
it
you
was during
did.
Saxon we had the whole rainbow over the stage during a rainy section.
Beyond that, though, like not a lot there to thrill, you know. Glenn Hughes, Blaze Bailey, Primal Fear, familiar names, but nothing that would
Yeah.
have really interest me.
Yeah, I don't think I would have known any of these bands back then, like at
Mm.
all, to be honest with you.
Yep.
Like not even
Yeah, I
necessarily
100% agree.
Saxon, you know.
The first time I think I really knew Saxon would be many years later at Download when I saw them there. So yeah. 2002, folks. Okay. Yeah. So again, main stage and the Darwin stage. 2002, festival's growing, and on the Darwin stage, we've got Infobia, 12-point head, Enemy Maker 888, Primordial, 11 King, Balsagoth, and Return to Sabbath playing again, but this time at the top of the stage. Obviously, by my Primordial means that's the band I'm particularly familiar with, of course. Fabulous band. I saw them only last year at Damnation, so like still going strong. Primordial.
Yeah, I mean, I know Primordial. I kind of, it's one of those names where I'm like, it probably isn't the same band, but Elven King kind of
I
sounds
said
like
11 King,
something.
didn't I?
Yeah, I thought I'd help you out, don't worry. I'm also like, it's like just that sort of sounds like a generic kind of power metal name. So I'm like, I could be a completely different Elven or King, something or other that I'm thinking of.
No, I think you're right because they're still going today, and they are considered a power metal, folk metal band. I
Yeah,
think you
so
might be on it.
but I wouldn't have known that in 2002 is the truth, but I
God
do
no.
now. So
2002, you probably the idea of listening to power metal, you'd have
I'd
fucking
been like,
popped
well,
your guts up.
this isn't metal. Pantera
Okay.
fought against this.
All right, the main stage: Biomechanical, Freedom Call, Balance of Power, Threshold, Diamond Head, Gamma Ray, and headlined by Blind Guardian. That top three there is obviously very familiar names, including the top one being a favorite band of ours. But again, we go back to that thing. 2002, neither of us were thinking or knowing Blind Guardian, I guess.
Yeah, I didn't know them back then. Same for Diamond. I probably did know Diamond Head through
Because
Metallica
of
covers.
Metallica. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been it, right?
And I would have been in like the sort of level. I'd be like, oh, yeah, let's go see Diamond Head. Just hopefully they'll do that one Metallica song. Like, do you know what I mean? Like I'd have it the wrong way around. Like if I was looking at
Yeah,
that
like
now, I'd be
evil.
like, that's a good day out. Like,
Yeah.
we're on Saturday now. We're in August, so we moved from the Monday date as well.
Yeah.
So me now looking at that, I'm like, yeah, that's a good day out. It also has quite heavy kind of power metal vibe. Like that it's a little bit of a kind of power metal-y festival.
Oh, very much so. You kind of look back at the early Bloodstocks and you realize how it's easy to forget when people get mad and be like, stop booking power metal bands. Like the festival's origins are in that
Mm.
world, folks. All right, 2003 expanded to 2 days on a Friday and a Saturday this time. Friday, short day, and 5 bands playing. Biomechanical, who played the year before. Fifth Man Down, Power Quest. I mean, is there a more power metal name than Power fucking Quest? Blaze, so Blaze Bailey again, and headlined by Saxon. So lots of repeats early on there. Yeah, I think best way to describe that Friday, not exactly exciting.
Nah, it's a similar thing again, though, isn't it? There's like Power Quest, Blaze, Saxon, all like bands we know now.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not much.
Saturday, August, the Darwin stage still. We have the incredible name of Bumsnogger. Bumsnogger, which is, I can't even click in it because it's not hyperlinked, so I don't know what stat band's about. We've got Cruel Humanity, 9 to 9, Bates Motel, bit on the nose there, Inveigh, Four-Way Kill. God damn. Four-Way Kill still going strong today. Waylander, FULC, and Biomechanical again, but this time headlining. Talk about working their way up the ranks, man.
Yeah.
Biomechanical. And on the main stage, Mercury Rain, Illuminatius, Dragon Force. Oh my God, Dragon Force in 2003. This would have been about when I was finding out about Dragon Force as well. Saracen, Master Plan, Ed Guy, Paradise Lost, and Nightwish. That top end again. You talk about making a day of it. I think that main stage is a day.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think you'd have a good day there. I don't Master Plan, Saracen, Mercury Rain. I don't think I know, but the rest of it, yeah, definitely be worth a ticket.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, up to 2004 then, and 2 stages again. Sorry, 2 days. But this time we got 2 stages on the Friday with one called the Femme Fatale stage. Now, without knowing the bands, I'm going to presume that each was fronted or had potentially female members in the band. But Supermassive Object, Liquid Sky, Inveigh, and Seasons End. Do you know any of them?
I was kind of like chuckling to myself, but I don't mean it in like a sort of horrible or sexist way. But it was like, yes, potentially all because it's female members in the band. But from what I know about those 4 bands, which is nothing, like it hasn't worked out wonderfully. I mean it as a joke.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
I don't even recognize it. Like not even a little,
like a trigger or something. Yeah. No, I agree. The main stage sees Inphobia, Illuminatius, Synergy, Threshold, and Gamma Ray. Yeah, solid.
Yeah, from what I know, I mean, seen Illuminatus come up a couple of times now, haven't you? So
yeah,
it's good to see.
The big day then, which is the Saturday. So on the Darwin stage, Resin 69, 7 Years Dead, Humanity, Nowhere Near the Garden, Gutworm, The Prophecy, Crucian, and Four-Way Kill, this time headlining the Darwin stage. So even back then, the reason why I want to do this, we wanted to kind of look about progression a lot of the time, but we're seeing a lot of bands who play the Darwin stage then end up playing higher up or potentially then jump to the main stage. So even back then, Bloodstock's kind of mantra existed, which is cool to see.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah.
Intense on the main stage. This is Intense, Panic Cell, Eden Bridge, Evergrey, Balance of Power, Primal Fear, Sonata Arctica, and Children of Bodom. Again, like from just a good day, there's enough there to enjoy.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, I mean, I probably would have been into Bodom around these sorts of times. I think.
I think. Yeah, maybe. I still think it's too early for me, but maybe
yeah,
you.
maybe. I'm just trying to trying to like think about when key albums came out and stuff like that. But no, I mean, it looks like a good day. I was just noticed on the bottom of the poster as well. So talking 39 quid for the 2-day ticket.
There we go. And all those bands, not bad. Yeah. 2005, folks, and this is where the festival went indoors and outdoors. We'll come to the outdoors part afterwards. We're going to finish the indoors and then jump back to the outdoors just for ease. But yeah, 2005, we got the indoor side of things. There's 2 days again, a short Friday and a longer Saturday. So on Friday, on the Battle Metal stage, Zilla, Deliverance, Warchild, and Conquest of Steel. I have no idea, other than the fact that they all sound like they're power metal-y kind of bands, why it would be called Battle Metal Stage. But considering how many power bands are already there anyway, I don't really see why a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then on the main stage, Reckless Tide, Metalum, Storm Warrior, and Hammerfall. I mean, that there alone, that one band at the top. Not that, you know, just looking from how I feel about them now, Hammerfall, great. That would have been a blast.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like Handful, so.
Which brings us to Saturday, and on the Darwin stage, Osmium, Project, MFKZT, I don't even know what, Dreadnought, Curb Grinder, King Size Blues, Jesus Fix, Balance of Silence, Soliloquy, and Cathedral, man. Everything up to Cathedral, I'm like, who? And then we hit Cathedral, I'm like, Cathedral? What, on the sort of unsigned stage? That band, I fucking love Cathedral.
Yeah, I don't know anyone else there. So.
Yeah, same. So the main stage has Rise to Addiction, Season's End, Sudakara, Iron Savior, Raven, Bob Catley, After Forever, and Monomath Within Temptation. Now, it's fascinating to see two bands up there, both of who have then gone on the headline Bloodstock outdoors when it's at its grandest. Monomath have been there a couple of times now as well. So yeah, all the way back in 2005, they're still there doing indoor shows for Bloodstock.
Yeah, it's cool. I also like Raven as well, so there's another band.
Okay.
I've got on there. Raven are,
Okay.
but they've been around a long time, but they are still around now.
Right. Bob Catley as well, which I was a bit incredulous about, is the lead singer of Magnum.
Right.
So, yeah, there we go. 2006, the last year Bloodstock was indoors. So let's just get through the lineup, which Friday has Darwin Stage, Awaken, Captive Audio, Steel Tormentor, Eden, and Tamira. And that's where that one ends. I don't know anyone.
Yeah, I don't think I do either.
Main stage, Martial Law, Majesty, Savage Circus, Axel, Rudy Pell, and Primal Fear. Those top three is familiar with, but I wouldn't call myself a fan of any of them.
Yeah, I don't. I think Primal Fear and Majesty are probably the only ones I was familiar with there. So,
which brings us to the Saturday. Now we should note that this indoor one wasn't September, folks. This final indoor one, it was actually at the end of September, which I guess was so it didn't clash with the outdoor one being when it's where it is. But on the 30th of September, we have the boy. This is in the Darwin stage. The Boy Will Drown, Hostile, Isaiah, Mel Morda, Against, Beyond Afterlife, Tourette's Syndrome, Died Smiling, Enemy Unknown, Deadfall, and Vanden Plus. Nope, I'm lost on this one.
Yep, got nothing.
But the main stage has some cool stuff. We've got Illuminatus again. Fucking hell. How they, I'm going to presume they don't exist anymore because considering how often they were booked back then, you'd think they'd be around today. Spellblast, Sworn Amongst, Omnium, and Gatherum, who are still going strong today. Machine Men, Brainstorm, Onslaught, of course, the legends. Death Stars. Death Stars are My Dying Bride. Like, that is a weirdly where you kind of go, okay, there's Bloodstock expanding and experimenting a little bit. My Dying Bride, fair enough, maybe not too much, but Death Stars. I mean, that's quite intriguing.
I don't think I know who Death Stars are, so there you go.
Oh, fair enough. But how cool is it that My Dying Bride is the last band to ever play the indoor side?
Yeah, that's cool. Cool seeing Omni and Gatherum and Onslaught on the bill 20 years ago.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go outdoors, folks, where we're really still going to start getting into comfortable territories to a degree. We've got to go back to 2005 first, where in June, Bloodstock took place in June and had 1 day main stage, where 2 days and 1 stage. Where on the Friday, we had Panic Cell, Gothard, Breed 77, Mostly Autumn, and Sebastian Buck. For the price this would have been, I'm just going to say, that could have been maybe a fun day just because of Buck, Breed 77, and Panic Cell.
Yeah, I think I'd have had fun there. I mean, I'm trying to remember what sort of a state Sebastian Bach was in 2005.
And that as well, was it like play some Skid Row? I ain't playing no fucking Skid Row, that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah. You'd hope you play some Skid Row when you
You'd
come
hope.
over and do your solo stuff at that early on.
All right, on the Saturday, we had Four-Way Kill back again. Humanity, Evergrey back again and still going very strong today. Master Plan and Ed Guy, Paradise Lost and Children of Bodom. I mean, that's another good day.
It is indeed. We've got a repeat headliner in. A couple of them already. We're only 5 years in. I think we've had Saxon twice and Bodom twice now.
Yeah, that's true. It's weird that, yeah, because like later Bodom will Bloodstock's going to outgrow Bodom. That's the mad thing, you know?
Yeah.
2006 then, folks, and the second stage is introduced properly, called the unsigned stage. This will eventually become the new blood, but for now it is the unsigned stage. And on Friday, the 14th of July, because now Bloodstock's in July, on the unsigned stage we have Nephrak, Pitiful Rain, Headless Cross, King Size Blues, and probably guaranteed one that definitely we could say went on to bigger and better things. It's Evil, of course, the thrash metal band. But Headless Cross kind of rings a bell, and I know that's just me.
Yeah, it doesn't for me.
Okay.
It's got the word cross in it, so maybe.
Maybe.
But yeah.
Maybe we get confused with, yeah.
Evil's still going strong, though.
Indeed they are. Long may that continue. Okay, the main stage has Pyramise, Rage, who I saw a couple of years ago, actually, downstairs in the Dome, Nocturnal Rites, Atheist, Metal Church, and they've been all over the bill up to this point, and they finally get a headline spot. It's Ed Guy. And you know, I'm going to be controversial here. No headline slots ever for Ed Guy, unless it's their own gigs. I'm just not that big of a fan, and they were kind of overrated back then. But hey, Bloodstock clearly loved them.
Yeah, you got to let them do it at their own gigs. That'd be unfair otherwise.
But yeah, imagine that. Oh, we know we suck, so we're not going to headline. Okay, Saturday, big unsigned stage, folks. There's Black River Project, Cycle 6, Fat Jerusalem, and that's fat with a P-H-A-T. Weird name. Luna Pin, Solace, Deadeye, Isaiah, Beyond All Reason, Spitting Blood, Curb Grinder, Necrosis, State of Serenity, Sick Foe, and Dead Weight. And other than recognizing one or two names that popped up previously, I don't know anyone.
No, there's a couple of names, that's all.
Hmm.
But not like that I know to be able to be like I can't hear any music in my head, you know.
And on the main stage, we had 19th Century, Ashtar, Season's End, Gorilla Monsoon, Kalanish Circle, Ensifurum, Balsagoth, Turasas, and headlined by Stratovarius. That is a mixed day, if I'm honest. Like, it's easy for me, and around about 2006, yeah, I think I might have been into Turasas then, but like, I'm not sure there was much else there on that bill that I would have been into, and certainly not the headliners. I wouldn't even call myself a fan these days.
No, I don't think I would have found. I don't. Again, fuck knows like whether or not I would have known Turasas back here or not. It might have probably been a bit later for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if it was now, I'd be like, oh, you know, wouldn't mind checking out some Ensiferum, some Metal Church, some Turasas. Like, do you know what I mean? Now, but back then, I think I would have known who half of them were.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? All right, 2007, and things have grown to much larger size. We have it as a 3-day festival now with 3 stages. Not the Thursday, though, which kept it very neat and tidy by having one band on the lava stage, Beholder. I guess they were testing it out. I don't know. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah.
But the main stage had Chris Slade. Chris Slade playing for Manfred's Man's Earth Band and AC/DC, where he was a drummer in AC/DC. I don't know who that guy is. All right, Site of Emptiness, KIUAS, Head On, Firewind, and Testament. Well, of course, Testament and Firewind, quite familiar with.
Yep.
Friday, folks, the lava stage, again, very small. I guess maybe this might have been a precursor to like the EMP Jaeger thing, maybe? Because it sort of seems like there's only 2 bands in this, Zenith and Blindsight. It's like, okay, you got a whole stage. Why?
Yeah. I don't know either of them either. I don't think.
No, agreed. Right, the unsigned stage had Mindflow, Omen, Life Denying, The Aftermath, NMOJ, Timefall, Cerebral Fix, Forever Never, Innocence, but Sinocence. There we go, I've just done it. King Lizard, Idiom, and Hexagram. Um, I'm not sure if I know anyone in that.
The only one that I like when you said the name, I was like, oh, maybe it was King Lizard. Sounded like a familiar
Hmm.
name, but then we have so many king something or others. It could be any other
Final
king
four.
animal creature.
Yeah, definitely went beyond 2010. Years
Uh,
active, no, 20 years active 2002 to 2015.
no, maybe not. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Main stage, Exploder, Voodoo 6, Scar Symmetry, Brendan. My God.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wolf, Memphis, Corpaclani, Epica, Nevermore, Dark Tranquility, Lacuna Coil. Shit, that's a good day, particularly by our tastes today.
Look at them doing a whole Melodeath day for me.
That's quite funny, actually, isn't it?
What
Yeah,
did they
there's
just
no
do?
way.
Just export the whole of like Scandinavia metal bands over for the day.
We're looking at Saturday. They kind of carried that on. Let's just dive straight into that, folks, with the Lava Stage, Rolling Thunder, Head Rush. Do you know either?
No, no, I don't know them.
Unsigned Stage has Hanging Doll, Cobra Kai, the Apostasy, the Hollow Earth Theory, Synagod, Nephrak, Speed Theory, Nemhane, Honey for Christ, Trigger 9, Exit 10, Axis of Evil, and Terror Thorn. And I don't know a single person on that.
Nope.
The main stage, Beyond All Reason, Rise to Addiction, Freedom Call, Benediction, Legion of the Damned, Fintroll, Dream Evil, Sabbath, Arch Enemy, and then headlined by In Flames. So it definitely feels like Bloodstock was looking over to the Scandinavians.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're great. Like, for me and my taste now. I would have probably been into a few of these bands back then, to be fair, because like I know I was into At the Gates quite early on. So I was listening to
Yeah,
this style. So I definitely would have come across like, In Flames and Dark Tranquility. I didn't really get into Scar Symmetry until a bit later on, but
yeah.
those other ones I was like listening to quite early. So if I had been aware and been sort of going to festivals and that line up there on that main stage sort of lineup would have caught my eye for sure.
Well, around this time, it might have been a year later, I would see Dream Evil for the first time in the Underworld.
Mm,
Still got the stub somewhere, so yeah, that would have been another one for me there. But yes, a lot of these Scandinavian bands, In Flames because of the popular songs
yeah,
more than
yeah, yeah.
anything else, you know.
Yeah, Arch Enemy, I think I would have known around then as well. And then
Mm,
bands that I like now, or I don't necessarily like a lot, but I would enjoy live now. But back then, if I'd have gone to see them, I would have been that whole like, what the fuck is this? Like Corpaclani and stuff like that.
yeah.
Now I'd be like beer in hand, like, hey, jump around and jig. Back then, I
Yeah,
probably
they're
wouldn't have
good
been.
live as well, Corpaclani.
Yeah,
All
and
right,
Benediction.
2008.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, great bands. Yeah, I think I saw them a few years ago at Damnation, and they were just like really, really good. 2008. On the Thursday, we had the Lava Stage with two bands: Conquest of Steel, Bungle Jr. That's that.
no, I was
Friday.
getting myself confused there. I was like
Oh,
Bungle,
you
but
thought you knew
I
one?
was like I was going Mr. Bungle for a second, but that's not Bungle Junior. Maybe this
I
was
don't think so.
maybe he became Mr. Bungle as he got older.
There you go. Right, Friday of the festival. The Lava Stage had Project, Outcry Fire, Invasion, and the Inbreds. Again, that project just keeps popping up as a band
Mm,
that's played quite a bit. Gothic metal band that ended in 2011.
no, I don't know.
All right, the Scuzz stage, which I guess is the unsigned stage, but sponsored now by Scuzz, which was, for those who don't know, a TV music channel once upon a time.
Yep.
Right. Dead film star A470, Broken Faith, Hospital of Death, Obsessive Compulsive, Son of Science, Firebrand, Super Rock, Anger Management, The Dead Lay Waiting, Sorcerer's Spell, and From the Ashes. Oh, mate, I ain't going. Nope.
Yeah, I didn't get anything from that.
No.
No spark.
The only one. The only one that's got a hyperlink is Son of Science, and oh, it's a person. An English-based guitarist who currently plays for thrash metal band Biomechanical and Son of Science. He's also played bass in the Dragon Force for 2 years. Okay, all right.
So it's interesting because in the early years of Bloodstock that we went through, Biomechanical came up a lot, and now by this stage, it's just a dude from Biomechanical.
Yeah, that's so fucking funny. Okay, we're at the main stage. Saint Damon, Evil, who had now gone from the unsigned stage to the main stage. That's what we're doing this video for, folks, particularly to try and grab these bands. Praying Mantis, Tyr, the TYR band. I can never say this band's name. Is it Agakoki or Agakoke? Or
I think it's just
Koki?
I think it's just Akakok.
There we go. Thank you, Brendan. Destruction, Primal Fear again, Soulfly, Halloween, and because everybody loves to be bored, Opeth.
Boring you as far back as, you know. I mean, what's kind of cool with
around about this time. Go on, sorry.
I was only going to say, because obviously, like, this is the first Max Cavalera appearance at the festival, and obviously he kind of goes on to become like a bit of a favored son there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like he's there a lot. This is the first time back in in 2008, obviously with Soulfly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd say Soulfly's height had long passed as well, but yeah, it's good to see him there. Halloween, of course.
Yeah,
back on it, but yeah, it's a pretty strong day, that main stage.
It is, yeah.
All right, Saturday, Lava Stage had Sondura, Fury. Is that Fury? No, Fury UK is a different band. Wait, what? No, it is the same. Oh, okay, but Fury UK anyway. 7 Years Dead, and I'm getting myself confused with Furies here, so I'm not sure I know this one.
Yeah.
Okay, 9 Days Down, Denounce, Witch Sorrow, Imperial Destroyer, Mantra, The Dirty Youth, Blood Island Raiders, The Defiled, Celtic Jihad, that's a fucking name, Hellfighter, Concept, why is it not hyperlinked? Oh, for fuck's sake, Concept of Time, Metaloid, RSJ, and the Berserker. Oh my goodness me. There's actually quite a few on that I recognize.
I mean, mainly two for me, for sure, which is Witch Sorrow and the Berserker. There's a couple of other names I was like, maybe on the way, but they're the two that I'm like, yeah, 100% on.
Yeah, when the Berserker was announced for coming back at Damnation this year, it caused quite a stir. A lot of people were very happy about it. I've been obviously outspoken that I've seen the Berserker once, and it is one of the worst shows I've ever seen in my life, and I've never forgotten that. So now I'm like, well, I gotta see them at Damnation again, right? Just to get the taste out of my mouth.
Yeah, when I say that I've heard of the Berserker, mostly I've heard of the Berserker through you telling me how bad that show was.
Fucking horrendous.
Rather than that I've heard of them musically.
I went to the toilet and what came out, my wife was just like, the singers tried to fight the security guard. I'm just like, okay, let's just, shall we just go stand at the back? It was at the Underworld as well. I want to know more about Celtic Jihad. Does anybody know about this band? So without me having to sit here and Google it, but like, yeah, because that name is insane. But the Defiled,
you definitely don't want to be Googling Jihad.
Okay, right, main stage, Cloudscape, Rise to Remain, LVT, I think that's how you say it, Swallow the Sun, Communiac, Moonsora, Napalm Death, Soulwork, Rise to Earth, and Dimmu Borgir. And that is a pretty solid day overall, particularly at the top end when you get likes of Dimmu, Soulwork, and Napalm Death. Dimmu, around this time, I was banging to. I kind of discovered them in 2003, I think it was, and I just became a huge fan from that point onwards. Obviously, I would have known Napalm Death, but I certainly wasn't a fan, and I definitely didn't know Soulwork.
No, I wouldn't have known Soilwork. I don't know. Maybe no, I don't think I would have known by now. I think it was later on that I became a fan of theirs. But yeah, Napalm Death. I would have known who Napalm Death was because they were like heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like you would have definitely known, or at least maybe even caught them live at some points.
Yeah.
Of course, who knows? We'll ever see Iced Earth back at Bloodstock again, considering what's behind that. But there you go. Let's not get into that. On the Sunday Lava Stage, we have Esoterica. Esoterica, incredible. Heaven's Gate, Breed Apart, Atom Bomb, and Liquid Sky. Yeah, I mean, all the way back then, Esoterica playing on the Lava Stage. It's amazing to see. Yeah, you know Esoterica?
I think so, but if I do, not well.
Okay. On the Scuzz stage, Cursed as Angels, Blasphemous Creation, De Profundus, Serotonal, Raven Age, Celtic Legacy, Torture, Necrosadistic Goat, Raven's Creed, Ted Maul, Mustat Talvi, Silent Descent, and Tesseract. I mean, they're insane to see Tesseract there. But yeah, there's quite a few in that I know as well.
there's a fair few Raven Age to De Profundis. Another
Mm.
another Celtic or Celtic band to the thing. And I can only imagine the sort of music Necro Sadistic Goat Torture play.
I
Thing
suspect
is,
it was
like
something grinding.
even to this day, like musically, I'm not a massive fan of Tesseract, so there wouldn't be like an awful lot that I would have been excited about there.
That is true. Yeah, I am more of a fan than you. I wouldn't call myself a huge fan, but I am more of a fan than you. Main stage, Heaven's Basement, Crowning Glory, Ailstorm, Grand Magus, Mob Rules, Cataclysm, As I Lay Dying, Overkill, At the Gates, and Nightwish. So Nightwish back for their second headline spot.
Yeah,
There's a couple of reasons to be laughing there, least of all, As I Lay Dying. But yeah, At the Gates, Overkill, Grand Magus. I mean, it's a solid day. Lots of bands that are going to end up playing Bloodstock again.
yeah. As they die in an hailstorm on the same bill. Should have got one like a house on fire. But yeah, the top end's good. The top end's decent, though, and Overkill at the Gates Nightwish would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, even Cataclysm as well. Great
Yeah,
band.
yeah, yeah.
And then we jump to 2009. And the Bloodstock that you know today is looking a bit more recognizable because it is 4 stages now. And they have titles like Jägermeister Stage and Sophie Lancaster Stage. It sucks that you're like, oh, this is when it got named. And why it got named, of course, which is the murder of Sophie Lancaster. And you know what? Actually, it's really bad. Robert Matt Maltby. I often forget the boyfriend's name as well, who
Yeah.
obviously was badly hurt and injured in it as well. But yeah, so that's when that began. So yeah, Bloodstock, 2020, not 2029, 2009. Starting on a Friday, on the 14th of August, we had the Jägermeister stage with one band, Blitzkrieg. Why one band? I don't know. Were you there? Why was it one band? But Sophie stage didn't have loads. We have Xerath, God-Sized, Malefice, and Pythia. And all bands that I know the names of, and bands that I've definitely listened to at time, but would I know well? No.
Pythia I saw quite recently.
Oh, where'd you see
I'm
them?
pretty sure I saw them at that Imperial Age Fest a
Ah, that
couple of
makes
years back in
sense.
London, and we both obviously went to see Malefice many, many times before. Like a band that we what first two albums, I think, probably
Of
thought these
course.
guys are going to be the next fucking big band in metal, but things took a unfortunate direction for them, which is a real shame.
So you're absolutely right. I'm actually annoyed myself. I glossed over that. This is that. Yep, this is
Yeah,
that
it's
band. Of
that
course, the
Malefice.
fuck it is. Yeah, there was a point in time where you absolutely you nailed that. We were pretty much on this train thinking that this was the next big band, and it didn't quite work out that way, unfortunately. Unsigned stage, Vent Flow, Bison Hammer, Bloodshot Dawn, Left to Bleed, Divine Chaos, Snakebite, Alternative Car Park. I like that one. Blindfolds Aside, Gods of Hellfire, the Green River Project, and Valenbrosia at the top. The only one that's hyperlinked. Are they still a thing? Oh no, they ended in 2009. The year they headlined
Oh,
on stage. Oh,
it's one of those new blood sort of style bands. Then, like, we're really going to throw ourselves into it after this. Quit a month later.
wonderful. But
We're
of course, yeah, Bloodshot Dawn, Divine Chaos.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yes,
we're
big names here.
obviously pretty cool that even back in 2009, the only bands we know are like down the bottom half of the unsigned stage. So tell us. But yeah,
Main
Divine Chaos,
stage,
Bloodshot
Blitz.
Dawn. Sorry, go on.
No, it's going to jump to the main stage. Blitzkrieg, $1 Million Reload, Insomnium. Oh my God. Die Apocalyptian Writer. That's close. Municipal Waste, Catatonia, Sodom, Saxon, Arch Enemy, Carcass. Listen, that top bill was a Bloodstock day right now. I'd be more than happy. Waste, Catatonia, Sodom, Saxon, Arch Enemy, Carcass.
You can see what's happening here as well, though. So we were wondering about the Jägermeister stage. I wonder if it was being used as like an acoustic set or something like that, because Blitzkrieg are on the Jägermeister stage and on the main stage, and actually you'll see the same
You,
happen in a minute on Saturday.
oh, you've nailed it, haven't you? Yeah, it's probably like an acoustic thing, right?
Yeah, something like that, or like a special
Strip
thing, or
back.
it's the guys from Blitzkrieg doing a DJ set or something like that. But yeah, that main stage, like that's I don't know like the German die apocalyptician writer. I don't know Million Dollar
Mm,
Reload or Blitzkrieg, but Insomnia, Units of Always, Catatonia, Sodom, Saxon back again. But
yeah.
now, so now you like you were saying earlier on about bands being outgrown by Bloodstock, because the two times we had them on here they were headliners, and now they're what are they, third on the bill?
Yeah.
And then yeah, Arch Enemy and Carcass at the top. That's a fucking good day, isn't it?
That was a good day, but it's
In
going
fact,
to
it's a
get better,
perfect day for
folks.
us, isn't it? Because on site we've got the four bands of we know the
Yeah.
unsigned stage early, and then we've got the main stage after it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, actually, to be happy with that. What about
Mm.
Saturday then? Because on Saturday we've got the Jägermeister stage, which has God-sized and Celesti on it. Whereas on the Sophie stage, you'll find Celesti again, Artemis, Abgot, and the Rotted. Now, is that Rotted band? The Rotted is a band that's familiar to me, but no, it can't be because it's not even hyperlinked here. So, like,
Yeah, I don't think
I might be maybe I'm thinking of someone else. Do you know anyone?
no, no, I don't. No,
Unsigned Unsigned stage, Day Will Rise, Nefarious, Naya Sky, Switchblade Scream, Eternal Conflict, Sanctorium, Inner Eden, OMT, Soulsick, Hunted, Severed Heaven, and the Sword Doctors. A DJ act. No, Scissor Sisters. Wait.
I
No, I
know
don't
it's not going to
recognize
be
anyone.
them. Yeah, I know it's not going to be
No.
them, but I'm pretty sure there was like a Sword Doctors sort of pop music band from like the 70s or 80s or something like that, wasn't it?
Right.
I'm
Right.
assuming it's not them.
No, yeah, I'm thinking as well. But yeah, I don't really actually know anyone. Think that I know anyone in this.
Irish
Maybe
folk. I
Internal
could maybe
Conflict?
it is. I mean, they say that there's an
Is
Irish
it?
folk rock band called the Sword Doctors from
Hmm,
Galway. But I don't know. I don't
interesting.
know. But it's probably not them. It'd be a very random one to just pop up there, but
It would be.
I don't know
Okay.
anyone. I don't think on that unsigned stage on Saturday.
Internal Conflict, maybe, but then that's a very generic
Hmm.
name. That's the problem. But anyway, main stage Uncle Rotter, Battle Law, Wolf, The Haunted, Entombed, Candlemass, Enslaved, Creator, Apocalyptica, Blind Guardian, and getting their headline spot in. Finally, it's Cradle of Filth. And similar to Friday, I think that main stage day is damn good.
Yeah, agreed. It is very good.
Hmm.
Only,
I
I
never
think
really to add there.
no. I mean, there's nothing that I'd be annoyed about. I don't know Battle Law and Uncle Rotter. Um, but other than that, everything there looks pretty cool.
Cool. Sunday, Jägermeister stage, Beholder and Into the Woods. On the Sophie stage, Eden's Curse, Tribe, Darkness Dynamite, and Interior. Beholder, obviously. But yeah, whatever they're
Beholder,
doing over the Jaeger stage, whatever's going on over there.
yeah, because they're on. Yeah, Beholder appear again in a minute.
Yeah. All right, the unsigned stage. Ebon La Furies. Right, I got to see what the hell this is. An English black metal band inspired by Victorian themes. They're still about today? I'm not sure, but there we go. Yeah, them, Agonist, Anwin, Triaxis, Long Time Dead, Primitive Graven Image, Soa, Biomortal, Nightmare World, Into the Woods, and Naya, NYA. Yeah. Mm.
I,
What jumps out at
I
you there?
feel the only one there. One because I think I recognize the name, and the other one just because in my head I was pronouncing it like I was a sort of in a Bruce Lee flick, and I was just kind of going yeah.
Oh.
But
That could be it, yeah.
was Agonist. Agonist as a name seems to stick with me a little bit. But I don't know why. It might not be anything.
No. Yeah, sometimes just does, doesn't it? Anyway, the main stage, Beholder, as you mentioned, Sabaton. My God,
Early on.
they are below the likes of Girls' School and Turasas people. And this is a
Uh,
band that will headline this festival eventually
yeah.
in style as well. Girls' School, Equilibrium, Anathema, Turasas, Moonspell, Amonomarth, Satyricon, and Europe. I remember seeing this poster and always being like, Europe. Okay. Like when you see what's below it, it's
Yeah, I mean, we obviously never really cared for it, but I guess there was a period, and maybe it still could be argued that it's still a period where like Bloodstock sort of switched to doing this almost like classic band headlining on the Sunday. Do you know what I mean? I wonder
Mm-hmm.
if this is around the switch because across the rest of that day, I know there's a couple of bands slightly different to it, but it's quite a heavily power metal day.
Yeah,
Satyricon
it is, isn't
aside.
it? Yeah, if you pull out, we've got Sabaton, Turasas, Moonspell,
Yeah,
Amon in some
yeah.
degree as well. Yeah, like it's all there. okay, we're starting to get closer to when we started to turn up at this festival. First, we do 2010, where Thursday opened up the festival on the Sophie stage, where Desecration and Hospital of Death played. Congratulations to both. Oh, I said that. That sounded really weird. It was like I was being insincere or something. It's like I meant it.
I really mean
Congratulations.
it.
Right. The Friday, Jägermeister stage has 3 bands: Victor, Smolsky, Sworn to Oath, and Betray Us. Whereas the Sophie stage might be the more interesting one. With 4 bands, it had Collapse, Steelwing, Enforcer, and Powerwolf. That Power, folks.
Yep, another band that have well could probably comfortably headline the main stage now.
Yeah, yeah. I think I can't remember, was it 2 years? When we saw them play the main stage, and they were just awesome.
Yeah, I think, and they weren't like they were kind of middle of the day, weren't they? They weren't like
Yeah, it
main
wasn't
support
like
or
a
anything like
high.
that.
Yeah,
But yeah, they were fantastic, and they've gone on and they've grown since then as well. So
yeah, they have. Okay, the New Blood stage. It now is called the New Blood stage. So 2010 was when it first got that title. And on it, that stage under Blackened Skies, who have just returned in the last couple of years, which is great to see. Lordarian, Betray Us, Grieve, Morgue Orgy, Tempestoria, Centuria, Splintered Soul, Shrapnel, Credit to Dementia, and Arcee, Arcsai. Archive. Yeah, don't know them, but obviously familiar with Shrapnel. In fact, we saw them play last year, and Under Blackened Skies is the major 2 that stand out for me.
yeah, same for me, only 2.
Cool. Let's jump to the Ronnie James Dio stage, because that's what the main stage is now called. Snakebite, Black Spiders, back this year. Roster Boss, Rage, Ensiferum, Cathedral, Gorgoroth, Sonata Arctica, Meshuggah, and again, because apparently people can't get enough of this band, Opeth. Yeah, you can kind of see the repeats in this lineup more than, like, there's a lot here that are like, oh, you play like returning bands.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the second headline for Opeth, right? First time we've seen Meshuggah on the list, I think, but Meshuggah and then Opeth afterwards sounds like a sort of version of hell for me personally. Gorgoroth, Cathedral, Ensiferum, Sonata Arctica. I never really cared that much for Black Spiders or anything like that, but I could have fun to them. So it's not a bad day, but it's one of those ones where like I need something to do while the headliners are on because I'm not that fussed for them. But
Well,
what's also
we go
I
Powerwolf.
was just looking at yeah, we go Powerwolf. There you go, sorted. I was just trying to work out because I didn't know who Victor Smolsky was, so I was just hovering on his name. And Rage, who's been on the stage, been actually in the lineup so far, maybe 3 or 4 times. He's from Rage, so it looks like there was still something
Yeah,
happening with the Jaeger stage where it's like here's a member from the other band that's playing on the main stage doing something different.
so strange.
Mm.
There we go. All right, let's jump to the Saturday then, because the Jaeger stage has Point Blank Fury, Hanging Door, Cosmic Vortex of Doom, and for all those who existed in the Southeast scene during the heydays of the Rat and Parrot, Silas. And word is that, because of course members of Silas are now in famine, word is that we may see Silas back at some point in the future. So
Yeah.
that should be kind of cool. Yeah. So for Lancaster stage, Mordecai, Regardless of Me, Benediction, and headlined by Silosis, who, if they carry on their ways, who knows, could be a future headliner of Bloodstock at their current rate, Could be.
Yeah.
Shall I jump
Yeah.
to the New Blood?
Yeah, go to New Blood. Go to the New Blood.
Burn the Hive, Echoes Fall, Arkan, Zocala, Liturgy, Aghast, Flay Disciple, Silas, Chaos Asylum, Resum, and The Whores. Just The Whores.
So I assume this is the same because Silas is obviously on 2 stages again. So I assume this is just that same thing again.
Yeah.
But they're the only one I
Looks
recognize,
like it.
I think, name wise from those bands on the New Blood stage.
I swear Zocala is another local Southeast band, but don't quote me. Liturgy are a band that I know a bit about, but yeah, not quite that familiar overall.
Do we know if at this stage New Blood was being formed by Metal to the Masses?
Oh, not what I'm looking at. I'm not sure how. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's the thing. I've just got lineups in front of me. Nothing like beyond
Oh
details
no, I
about
just
that.
it looks like maybe they were like all the way through actually, because it says the Metal to the Masses scheme was started in 2005.
Oh, okay. Maybe it hasn't reached the kind of size it has like at the
Yeah.
moment, but yeah, like yeah. Okay, right. Let's jump to the main stage, Ronnie James Dio stage, where Andromeda leaves eyes. Shit, you reviewed some of them a few years back, didn't you?
Oh, I like them a lot.
EP.
Big fan.
Okay,
And the most recent album.
okay, cool. Name Dead rings a bell because it's not a band I'm aware of. Like I've listened to much, but I know they keep popping up on the freaking site because you've been covering them.
Yeah.
Not that like it's a bad thing. Like freaking stop
Sorry.
covering Leaves' eyes. Eval, Onslaught, Ed Guy are back, everybody.
Yep.
Obituary, Amorphous, the Devon Townsend Project, Fear Factory, and Children of Bodom. And let me tell you, folks, that top end is fucking banging. And I love to see the Devon Townsend Project around this time.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like I think you said earlier on at some point, like Bottom. I can't remember if you said Bottom would hit the headliner slot or whatever it was, and this is the point where they are. But I mean, without caring too much about Ed Guy or knowing anything about Andromeda, I'm a fan of every other band there, so it's a great day for me.
This is Bottom's second headline thing. I think I said they were gonna Bloodstock was gonna outgrow them soon, but clearly not that soon. But they're also Fear Factory subbing. Well, there you go, above Devon Townsend Project, which to me now is sacrilege, you know. But back then, I guess it was still okay. Sunday, Jaeger stage, Fury UK were the only band on that one, whereas on the Sophie stage has Purified in Blood, The Prophecy, Witch Sorrow, Winter Fileth, and Killing Machine, and both Witch Sorrow and of course the icons that is Winter Fileth, who I saw play live this year. So like still going strong, that band.
Yep, it's good. That's the first appearance as well here, so
Oh, it is.
they
Good
will be back.
catch, yeah. Yeah, they will. Right, the New Blood stage, Old Corpse Road, folks. Incredible. Neon Fly, Hex, Traces, Ishmael, Extreme Ood or Odd, Mutant, Stone Circle, Orestia, Core Project, and Furion. And the only one I really recognize is the one that's on the bloody bottom of this lineup, Old Corpse Road. Incredible.
Bottom three, I recognize from a name perspective.
Okay. Oh, Neon Fly, yeah.
I feel like Neon Fly is going to come back up later on, and Hex as well. We'll see if I'm right or not, or if there's another Neon.
Interesting. We shall keep our eyes peeled. Right, the main stage, Bonded by Blood, Suffocation, Holy Moses, Doro, Corpaclani, Gwar, Gojira, Bloodbath, Cannibal Corpse, and Twisted Sister. That is a day that is all over the place. I know there's reasons as to why, if you look at the details, heaven and hell and sickness and ish like that, but that is brilliantly all over the place in so much ways. And seeing Gojira appear for the first time, and you know what you realize? We don't get enough Gwar at Bloodstock because they're there, and I'm like, yeah, how have I not seen Gwar Bloodstock after? I don't think they played at least as long as I've been going.
Last year or the year before, wasn't it?
Oh God, really?
I mean, there's obviously lots of lineups.
Somewhere else.
There would have been lots of lineup. Almost a completely different band back in these days, to be honest with you. What with sad passings and stuff like that. But yeah, I can't. I don't think it was either last year or the year before. I can't remember which one.
Fair enough, but yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the biggest takeaway from that main stage. It's really Gojira.
It's hard with it back at the time, right? Because obviously we think of Gojira as Gojira now with all the material that's behind them and all the things that have happened, and we obviously saw them only a few days ago, really.
Yeah,
with Metallica, and we saw them not long ago, obviously headline Bloodstock and what they are now. So it's the first time we've seen them on the lineup. It'd be cool to see, because I don't know, like myself, whether it's this and then the next time it's headlining or whether they appear a few more times in between. You know what I mean?
I definitely know there's a sub in there.
Yeah, so it's progression. So what are they, fourth from the top here?
Yeah.
Move up a step and then go from that to headlining. It's, again, good progression for a band, right? And that's the whole Bloodstock thing about, the bands kind of as they grow, being able to come back and be headliners.
Yeah, it's such an important thing. But even now, imagine standing and be like, Bloodbath, Cannibal Corpse, and then here's Twisted Sister. I mean, Jesus, that's quite a shift.
It is,
I love Twisted Sister, but there you go, All right, 2011. And it looks like Thursday had comedy, maybe? Akron, Zerath, Revoker, Beholder, Jason Ruse, and Steve Hughes in the Sophie Lancaster stage on Thursday. I don't really have anything to say about that, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know either of the comedians. I was just
Are the
looking their names
comedians, I
up.
might just.
Well, Steve Hughes definitely is because there's a picture.
Okay.
I looked his name up. It says he's an Australian comedian, actor, and a former thrash metal drummer.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Jason Ruse. Comedian, yeah. Jason Ruse is a comedian.
yeah. So,
Okay,
but
so
I don't.
they were trying comedy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who they are though. So, Beholder
Let's move
and
on.
maybe Revoker, but I don't know. It's just one of those names.
Well, it's Beholder keeps popping up all the bloody time. So
Yeah.
there you go. Right. To the Friday of the festival on the Jaeger stage, Foul Body Autopsy, which of course is a one-man death metal machine and still going strong today. Spires, Renok, Alternative Car Park, I remember them, and Primitize. This looks like maybe the Jaeger stage was now starting to do its own thing.
Maybe, but I can still notice that you're going to read the New Blood stage
Yeah,
out in a minute, and Primatai are there again, and Rannoch are there again.
and
So there
Rannoch are
still
there
seems to
again.
be a few
Yeah.
little bits happening. What's quite interesting on
Okay.
this one, the way that it's laid out, is this is the first time that the Sophie stage. So, like in all the other ones, it went Jaeger, Sophie, New Blood, and Sophie was shorter. So it looks like the Sophie stage has grown now, like to be like a
Right.
proper big stage.
Like the proper second stage. I think you're right,
Yeah.
you know, looking at there. Okay, right. Well, let's do New Blood then. And we've got a known fear, Shredderthron, Inner Fire, Entropy, Primitai, Rannoch, Saturian, The Furious Horde, Decimation, Cryostorm, Training Icarus, and Bresno. Furious Horde, Training Icarus. That's about the ones that jump out at me.
Yeah, the Furious Horde did, and the Training Icarus was the one for me there.
Hmm.
I think anyway.
Interesting. Okay, so we are connecting on these lands. Okay, selfie stage then. Mortad, Imicus, Cerebral Boar, Romeo Must Die, Artemis, Bifrost, Octoberfile, and Lawnmower Death. Tons of familiar names, but not necessarily bands that like I've ever really been into. Here's something that's controversial, folks. I've never really rated Lawnmower Death. I know they're beloved and I know they've been around a while, but I've just never really got that excited by them.
And the minute you said here's something that's controversial, I instantly knew you were going to say about Lawnmower Death. And I was like, yeah, people call for them so much. You know,
Yeah.
shock. I'm also never really kind of got that into it. To be honest with you, it's parody stuff in it. So
Okay, the main stage, The Defiled, Wolf, fucking Wolf, Forbidden, Poison Black, Tricticon, Coroner, Creator, the Devon Townsend Project, and continuing what is going to be, I hope, the controversial part of the video. I think Wasp fucking suck and a genuinely outraged that my wife loves them. It is a genuine bone of contention between us. I have never liked Wasp. I don't care. Even their hits. Fuck those hits. Can't stand them. Generally don't like them. Yeah, that's my thing about Wasp.
yeah, I also don't give them monkeys about Wasp. So we're quite aligned on a lot of this sort of stuff. I mean, the rest of the lineup's pretty cool. I don't really know Poison Black. I
Mm.
don't know that I know Forbidden because again, it's such a name that could just be like, oh, maybe. And Wolf is
Yeah,
obviously I don't think I don't really know Wolf either, but I've seen them now come up about 5 or 6 times. But
yeah.
I did just scroll up through it because I was like, where were they last time? And it does seem like they're kind of moving down the bill rather than up it. So like the last time they
That's
were
an
4 or 5
interesting point.
up, and now they're like second on. So the festival's getting bigger. Wolf, I guess, was staying static. So, but you know, look, Triptychon, Coroner, Creator, and obviously Devon.
It's pretty good. Right, Saturday then. The Jaeger stage, Northern Oak, Obsessive Compulsive, Guardians of Andromeda, Fantasist, and Avenge the plus name. Okay. Moving straight on from that.
Yeah.
New Blood stage, Bloodvera, Zombie Militia, Soul Sphere, Bury the Conscious, Urburian, Impaled, which is a band I actually do know, Impaled Existence, Foul Body Autopsy. So yeah, even though it wasn't the same day,
Hmm.
you did more than one. Fury Born, Hostile Rising, Pure Negative, Hairkin, and Intensive Square. Foul Body Autopsy and Uburian. Yeah, they're doing two.
Just Foul Body Autopsy for me. Don't know any of the others.
Oh, all right. The Sophie stage, Drip Back, Blake, DEFCON 1, Hammer of the Gods, Deadly Circus Fire, The Rotted, Angel Witches, which is one of my bands I kind of wish I could see. But yeah, there we go. And Stephen Hill and Keith Platt.
Gonna
The
assume two
fuck was
more
going on this
comedians.
on the Sophie stage? Okay, all right.
I mean, because the other comedians were Sophie, weren't they? I know it's a Thursday, but
No, true, true. But this is the Saturday. There's no excuse for that, you know?
I know it's definitely them because I know we're about to do Sunday in a minute, and because I looked down, the same two comedians are back on the Sunday on the Sophie stage.
You're right. I can see them now. Okay. Well, let's just get to the Dio stage then. With
Mm.
Skeleton Witch, Gravedigger, Tarot, Fintroll, Isan, Winter Sun, Therion, Rhapsody of Fire, and Immortal are there. That is a mixed day for me with a headliner I've never really cared about either.
Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
I like a few of the bands on it. That's the thing, but I don't like the whole day. I don't really care for Immortal. I never really got too into Rhapsody of Fire, despite it being the music that I should like because it's symphonic and power
yeah.
metal. I never really became a big fan. But I do like Winter Sun. I do like obviously Isan, uh, Skeleton
Isan in
Witch.
2011, though, do you think? Would you have been 2011?
I mean, I still would have probably been a fan of Emperor then. That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
Okay,
might
that
have
would have been a
still been like,
connection.
oh my
Yeah.
God, it's the dude from Emperor. Like, do you know what I mean? It would have been more that.
Yeah. No, I get that. I think that's a cool way to see it. All right, Sunday, Jaeger stage, Last in Line, Pig Iron, Inferno, Operation Error, and Amaranth. Oh, wow, that's a pretty big band to be on there. Amaranthi.
Yeah,
I never know how to say it. How do you say it?
Amaranth.
Amaranthi.
No,
Amaranth.
no,
Okay, fair enough.
yeah.
New Blood, Candid Iniquity, Wolf Crusher, Visitor, Spires, Akarusa, Yami, Sacred Illusion, Twilight's Embrace, Sanguinine. Now, I feel like I know that band. Northern Oak, Talanis, Achillea, and Lifer. Sanguine.
Yeah,
It's Sanguine, isn't it?
it's Sanguine.
Yeah, that's a band.
British four-piece female-fronted alt metal band from Devon.
Hmm. Maybe I don't, maybe not. I don't know.
I
Hmm.
mean, there's nothing in there that I instantly look at and know other than the repeat names that I've seen have come up. A couple of like Spires, for example, have come up
Yeah.
already.
Okay. Sophie stage then. Grand Ultra. I'm making a Bloodstock debut, we believe. It's Evil Scarecrow. Sophie stage back in 20. I'm trying to think, when did Evil Scarecrow first really come up? 2011. When did it come up? Certainly not this early. Certainly not this early. I feel
No.
like it might have just been out of Bloodstock the first time I saw them out of Bloodstock when I became more aware of them. Maybe?
It's certainly for me as well. Like the one we'll get to the one
Hmm.
obviously when we came along that day for the one day and they were on when we came along. That was the first time I'd ever heard of or seen them.
All right, Nemhane, Hellish Outcast, Survivor Zero, Power Quest, Amaranth, Criminal, and those comedians Jason Ruse and Steve Hughes. Yeah, it's kind of like a bit of a repeat. Nothing really there to get excited about.
Nah, it kind of makes a bit more sense again. Like I think we keep forgetting, like we're like, oh my God, Amaranth, that's quite a big band for the Jaeger stage, but actually they're probably just doing some fuck about shit because their real position was near the top of the Sophie stage.
Yeah, which does make more bloody sense.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way over to Sunday. We're disgracefully opening the main stage is Hell. I've only ever seen Hell live once, and it was a Bloodstock, and they're in a much higher position, and they are special. I
Yeah.
don't think it's likely we're ever really going to get anything from them again. So that's
Be
about it,
surprised.
maybe. 1349, seen them live again at Bloodstock in the past. Primordial, Napalm Death, Hammerfall, Exodus, At the Gates, Morbid Angel, and Motorhead. Yeah, solid.
Yeah, it's a good day. It's quite on the heavy side of it, which I quite like, really. I also agree with you that it feels weird to me because even back then, because Hell weren't like a new band, they're a classic band. Like they seem too far down the lineup even for back then.
Yeah.
Obviously Hammerfall aside, there's some good sort of thrash and death metal on there. And obviously it would have been a cool opportunity to see Motorhead. Like I'm, fan of Lemmy, fan of some Motorhead, never been the world's biggest Motorhead fan. Like, but respect, to the legacy and everything like that. So now in hindsight, it would have been cool. Weird thing about it is if I'd have been there, I mean, I probably would have gone to see it just because it's bugger all else on because it was out of a comedian. But like, do you know what I mean? If there had been another good band on the Sophie stage, and I might have debated like whether I go to which one,
Yeah.
that would have been a regret, wouldn't it?
Indeed, yeah, but I think you've nailed it there. I think I probably would have been in the same mindset, but now it's easy. It's in hindsight, isn't it?
Mm.
All right. Well, let's go to 2012. We're all too busy with the Olympics to be fair, to be thinking about Bloodstock. Where was I during Blood? Oh, I was working at Stratford actually, which was Olympics Central. But yeah, 2012, Thursday. So for Lancaster Stage, Centurion, Bloodshot Dawn, Marionette, and Viking Skull. A couple of bands there. I think Viking Skull's first time they're popping up on this. But Bloodshot Dawn we had previously had in the bill.
Yeah.
Friday, Jägermeister Stage, Scarlet Riot, Takesis, Andraste, Dave McPherson, and Absolvia. I mean, that is a list of like bands I'd say, although Takesis ain't been doing much in recent times, but Scarlet Riot, Absolver, these are bands that I'm pretty familiar with.
Yeah, definitely. Keith and Scarlet Riot in particular. I was just trying to work out who Dave McPherson is. That's from In Me.
Name does ring a bell. Oh, of course it is. Oh,
Are they,
of course it is.
I wonder if they're on the bill somewhere then, are they? Or we'll find out in a
I'll
minute.
keep an eye out. Okay, the New Blood Stage, In Coma, Control the Storm. What have they been doing in recent times?
Yeah.
Damn. Waken Theo, Warhorse, Crepuskull, Cambion, My Wooden Pillow, Exile the Traitor, Kilohertz, Scare Tactics, Cataleptic, Infernal Creation, and Fallen Fate. It is just Control the Storm for me.
Same for me. It's the only one I know there.
I'm just trying to think, when was the last time I even thought? I don't know.
Ago.
Yeah. That sucks, but there you go. All right, Sophie Lancaster Stage, where Commander-in-Chief, Gorneris, Primitai. Primitai back. Sweet Savage, Derision, Death Valley Knights, Pythia are back. Eastern Front, Alcest for the first time, and Dirty Sanchez. Is that a TV show? Oh no, Electro Clash Band. It does have comedy writers, but it's not that Dirty Sanchez. Wasn't that like a Jackass spin-off or something?
Yeah, it was like a Welsh one, I think, wasn't it?
Okay, but anyway, we're seeing some names come up again, and Alcest have made their Bloodstock debut. Good on them.
Yeah, Pythia have moved up through the stages as well by now, so that's good.
See if that continues. Okay, Malefice over on the main stage now. Yeah. So good for them opening it as well. And then we get Freedom Call, Grand Magus, Moon Sorrow, Iced Earth, Sepultura. That's Sepultura's first appearance.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because with Soulfly, yeah, of course. Watain, again, first appearance, Dio Disciples, and Behemoth. And is that Behemoth's first appearance as well?
It's the first time we've seen them come up, yeah.
And they went straight to headline. Whoa. That's nuts.
Yeah, so this is it's way into Derek Green era as well for Sepultura.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there's a few. Go on, sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I like that we were right when we were saying we were thinking this Malefice band we're going to go on to big things, because we're seeing them still doing well here, and now they're like already opening up the main stage at Bloodstock, so they were on the right track, and we were correct, or we could have been correct.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling this might be the last time we see them on this bill, but there you go.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, okay. It's a strange one. It's actually, overall not that strong a day for me, to be honest with you.
No.
I probably would have been excited to see Behemoth back in these days, I think. Probably not too bothered about Watain back then. I'd probably prefer them now. Sepultura, I don't know. Like, I was never like anti Derek Green, you know what I mean? But like musically, some of the albums started dropping away in terms of quality. It's just the reality of it,
Yeah.
So I mean, like, and Iced Earth, like, never really cared for. So like, a couple of bands near the bottom end of it, but that's probably about it for me.
Yeah, it's not the strongest for me, and I'll be honest, I would certainly not have followed Behemoth. 2 years time, I would see Watain. I've seen Watain once, and it was at Hellfest in 2014. So like, yeah, there's not that much there for me either. All right, let's jump to the Saturday, because I think there'll be a few more. So the Jägermeister stage has From Ruin, Triaxis, Curb Grinder, Dreamcatcher, and I Am I. And again, there's some bands that we've seen pop up before on different bills. Whereas on the New Blood, Apollyon, Merciless Fail, Stormborn, The Conflict Within, Father, Sublime Eyes, Wretched Soul. I have a t-shirt of Wretched Soul downstairs. That's how fucking aware of them I am. Bull Rift Stampede, Tempest Fusion, Cosmic Vortex of Doom, Reflection in Exile, Doomed, and Gone Till Winter. You know what I'm consistently seeing? The ones that are the top bill of New Blood are the ones that I'm often finding that I don't I've never heard of.
Yeah,
You
no, I
know?
agree with that. Yeah, Wretched Soul, I know, and I'm like, I think I know the conflict within Stormborn and Apollyon.
Looking sweet. Look at that. All right, selfie stage. Splintered Soul, Savage Messiah, Drip Back, Infernal Tenabra, Rising Dream, Furion, Winter Philith, Witch Sorrow, Sight of Emptiness, and Orange Goblin. Lots of repeats. Filling out the selfie stage, which has obviously got a much higher profile now. So while it doesn't necessarily feel like a huge jump up for some of these bands, the stage and the size of the festival might have been more significant.
Yeah, definitely. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Furion were on the New Blood a few years back, so we're seeing them now progress to the Sophie, which is cool.
Does ring a bell. And that brings us to this main stage, which has Benediction, IMI, Catonic, Crowbar, Mayhem, Sanctuary are above those bands. Okay, Hatebreed, Testament, and headlined by Machine Head, who would never headline a festival again until this past year or last year.
Yeah.
Not this year, last year. But yeah, a bit of a mixed main stage again. Like the top three, certainly. Maybe curious about Mayhem more than anything else.
Crowbar.
Not then.
Not then.
Like later, but not then.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I was trying to figure out who the fuck IMI is, but I definitely don't know them other than it's the singer from Dragon Force's
band after he got sacked or left Dragon Force, whatever the story behind that is. Yeah.
Can't have stayed around very long though. I don't recognize the name like from modern times, so
no. Okay. Well, let's jump to Sunday. We're in the Jaeger stage. 1,000 Enemies, Splintered Soul, Oranthe, Cobra and the Lotus, and the Mercy House played. Anything there?
I'm it's one of those like I feel like I recognize the name Cobra and the Lotus, but not without anything else to say about it other than that. Oh, that name looks familiar. But...
Fair enough. New Blood stage. Separation from Ruin, Atheria, Sadako, Hakin, not that one. Hakin. Dreamcatcher, Reign of Fury, Furon, 1,000 Enemies, Shattered Skies, Incinerate, Blind, and Airstrike. No, man, I'm a bit lost on that one.
Yeah, nothing obvious stands out to me. I mean, the closest was probably Reign of Fury, but again, it's one of those that it's like, oh, that name seems so sort of generic in a way that I could be mixing that up with anyone who's got the word Rain or Fury in their name.
Yeah, okay. All right, Sophie Lancaster stage. Rearmed, Flayed Disciple, Battalion, Crimes of Passion, Ancient Ascendant, Nosifaria, Demonic Resurrection, Head Charger, and Anal Nakrath. Whereas that top section there with Demonic and Anal, I think this kind of thing that we got that now would be like, yeah, fucking sweet.
Yeah, definitely. They're the only two I know on it though. I
yeah,
think on
true.
that whole list.
It is true. Like the fact there's Head Charger in between those bands, and they don't have a hyperlink. In what I'm looking at, there's no extra page to go and see more about them,
Yeah.
Which is quite interesting. Right, main stage. As you might be right about Cobra and the Lotus, because I didn't notice this, but the fact they opened the main stage kind of says they've got a size about them.
Yeah. There you go. Maybe I do recognize them for a reason.
But then it gets strong, folks, because Corrosion of Conformity, Nile, The Black Dahlia, Murder, Eval, Anvil, Paradise Lost, Timmy Bulger, and Alice Cooper. That's a fun day with a right mix of bands, man.
Yeah, there's definitely a mix. Continuing that classic closer on the Sunday with Alice Cooper there, but that would be fun to watch, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Black Dahlia Murder's first appearance on here as well, so see them a couple
more
times. Nile as well, yeah. Last time we saw
Dimmy,
they were headlining.
Lost. Ooh, but
then
right? You're right.
The festival's grown by now, hasn't it? But
and I would still think Alice Cooper would command. I mean, I'm sure even Dimmy would be like, yeah, Alice Cooper headlines. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, 2013, folks, the last one before we start turning up at this festival. And in 2013, on the selfie stage, we had Motherload, Bull Riff Stampede, Oath, OAF, Raven Age, and Tragedy. Tragedy, that's that fucking covers band. Honestly, I swear. The Bee Gees cover band, right?
I was going to say Steps. Tragedy.
No, I'm sure it's...
But
yeah, but then Yeah, I'm sure it's that band. They're really popular. Or they were anyway. I don't know if they still are.
Do know Raven Age though. Pretty sure they're still
Mm,
going. I'm
yeah, I think they are.
pretty sure I reviewed an album of theirs about a year ago.
Mm. All right. Friday, Jaeger Stage, Resin, Mia Kloss, Wraith, Raven Age again, and Mitchell Ems. Resin, is that Resin that we've
Yeah,
interviewed in the past as
I was
well?
gonna say that was the name sticks out, doesn't it? But no link to
Yeah, because
check,
it's really
unfortunately.
early. It's really early if that's the case. It's really cool if that's the case. Obviously, I still think even at this stage, maybe the Jaeger stage was still a bit experimental because you've got the Raven Age again.
Yeah, I mean, way to save some money though, isn't it? Just book a band and make them play in all the stages and all the days. Do something
Yeah.
different.
All right, New Blood stage then. This is Turin. Fantastic band. Cruel Humanity, Resin Wolf, Charlotte Afterlife, Left Unscarred, Warpath, Nocturna, Prospernia, Carabidius, Second Rate Angels, Farron, who I believe, unfortunately, recently called quits or called time on it, Cranation, and Mare. Well, yeah, aside from what I just said about Farron, Carabidis,
Y-
Carabidis,
Yeah,
Carabidis, them. That's the big one that stands out in Turin, of course.
yeah. I'd be honest with you, I don't think I know this is Turin, so it was Charybdis and Faran for me. But
Mm,
just Charybdis now then. Oh, well, actually, sorry, 2013, so we might still see Faran again.
it's too early. Yeah, yeah. In fact, we will because when we started properly doing press at Bloodstock
Hmm.
and doing the pre stuff, Farron, when we were doing just document, they sent us a video version of it. If you
Yeah.
remember, a video version of it. It's very cool. All right, the Sophie stage has the Way of Purity, Absolver, Bloodbound, Shrapnel, The Prophecy, Skiltron, Cyber 16, Zerath, Zentrix, and Scar Symmetry. Ah, that top three there: Zerath, Zentrix, and Scar Symmetry. And Scar Symmetry, headliner Sophie,
Hmm.
big step up.
Yeah.
It's been about
Cool.
7 or 8 years since they've been on this bill.
Yeah, it has, and it's a good lineup actually on that stage, especially like you said, the top end of it, even like down
Ooh,
Skiltron, Shrapnel. No Cypher 16 in
okay.
the middle of all of that though.
Just right there. There you go. The main stage were Earth Tone 9, Death Angel, XDL, Firewind, Dark Funeral, Municipal Waste, Voivod, except in King Diamond, are playing. God damn, that is a mess of a stage. That is a mess. I mean, I love Voivod. I can get on. I love Municipal Waste. I can get on with Dark Funeral, but I think that's going to end roughly there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate Accept. That would probably be the only other one. Like,
True.
there's not. Yeah, thank God the Sophie
But
stage
it's
is
the
looking strong.
controversial thing, isn't it? I mean, come on, we got to say it's the controversial because people are like, what do you mean you don't like King Diamond? Is this whole
Fucking
thing
voice,
again? It's the
man.
merciful fate fucking thing.
Yeah, that's it. And unfortunately, it's not like he sings different. So
All right, over on the Saturday, Jägermeister stage, Cavorts, Balls Deep, the Earls of Mars, Awake by Design, and Incasium. Balls Deep and Awake by Design. I think they're the two that kind of jump out.
only Awake by Design for me. It's the only one I
So
recognise.
Balls Deep have been around a long time, and a place one of my stations I work at, there's a locker, a random single locker in one of the men's toilets. Been there since I started working there in 2003, and on that locker is a Balls Deep sticker, and that's immediately what I always remember when I think, you know. So and that was all the way back in 2003 when I started working there. Okay, right, New Blood stage, Fallen Riot, Elthia, Mask of Judas, Diesel King. Is that 12 bore? 12 bore?
It'd be 12 bore
Doesn't
because
sound right.
that's like a
Yeah.
shotgun, and it's a shotgun round 12 bore or 12. It's a
Oh,
12 gauge or a 12 bore. But
oh, thank you. I
they
learned some.
spelled bore differently because that would obviously make it cool and not shotgun related.
Right. I learned something new here. Cool to know. Gethica, In the Hills, Internal Conflict. They've been on this bill before.
Yeah.
10-cent toy, Dishonor the Crown, One for Sorrow, Screamer, and the Infernal Sea. I mean, we've got a special relationship with the Infernal Sea at Bloodstock only because it's more us. Only because the first ever interview we ever did at Bloodstock was the Infernal Sea. Not this year. Couple more years to go for that. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
cool to see them head at the top of the New Blood.
Yeah. Infernal Sea and
Yeah.
maybe internal conflict. I might recognize that, but again, who knows?
Sophie Stage, Unfathomable Ruination, Sworn Amongst, Vanderbust, Betrayus, Scarab, Male Mordha, Neon Fly. You said they might pop up again. Power Quest and Last in Line. So really, this is just familiar names, I think, in this one.
Yeah, I mean, Neon Fly purely because they came up before, but also I think they're going to come up again. This is too early for where I was thinking I recognise them from. But also, like, just while we're, shouting out progression, again, first time we saw them, I think it was probably still the unsigned bands or maybe New Blood by then. And now they're, third from the top on the Sophie Stage. So it's a big old jump, isn't it?
It is. It is.
That's
right. Let's keep a close eye on Neon Fly, folks.
Power Quest.
Power Quest have been popping up all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Right. Main stage. Stormbringer, Beholder again. 3 inches of blood making a debut. Hell back again. So they were there in between. Cataclysm, Gojira again. But now we get Sabaton, Avantasia, and then Lamb of God. See, that there just feels all over the fucking, like, the wrong way round. Like, I know by today's standards it would never be like this to a degree.
No.
Except for maybe Lamb of God could still be the headliners over the others, but I'm not even sure they could. That's debatable, I feel now.
But like around this time then as well. So a couple of years back, Sabaton were opening the stage. And Gojira, not in the same year, I don't think, but Gojira were roughly that position, maybe one down. And Sabaton had obviously grown so much in those years that they were now like literally third from top and jumped above Gojira.
Yeah.
So that's like some pretty big fucking growth to go over a couple of years, isn't it?
It is not bad.
And also from a Hell perspective, Hell opened the stage and obviously did such a good job that they're already back. And
yeah. Okay, cool. Sunday, Jaeger Stage, Operation Error, The Bastard Sons, Andy James, Betrayus, and Phil Campbell's All-Star Band. Now, I'm going to presume the Bastard Sons that are further down is like a offshoot of Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. Just for like a fun Jaeger thing. The fact that Phil Campbell was there with the All-Star Band, I don't know when the old Bastard Sons kind of really got started.
No, same. I don't either.
Okay.
Andy James.
Let me have a little look.
Well, fair enough. From them.
Okay. Five finger death punch, people. There you go. Right. New Blood Stage, Black Emerald, Scar City, Oceanus, Cremated, Neon Halo, Line of Fire, Fury. That's the Fury I know. Edrium, Negligence, Bound by Exile, Merciless Terror, Amulet, and Bloodgirl. But beyond that, oof. Furies might be the only one that I think still kind of going strong that I know of.
Yeah, I don't recognize any of them as like names that are still around now.
All right, Sophie Stage, Lifer, States of Panic, Grifter, Boo Grifter, RSJ, Bosk, Evil Scarecrow back again, same stage, a little higher up, Gormathon, Breed 77, Belphegor, Wolfsbane, and Dying Fetus. That is a very mix of bands.
Yeah, decent though, isn't it? Top 3 would be good fun. Obviously, Evil Scarecrow, Bosk. Local-ish to us, Bosk.
Right. Main stage, Gamma Bomb, Whitechapel, Sacred Mother Tongue, Fuzzy, Amorphous, Exodus, Devil Driver, Anthrax, and Slayer. Devil Driver third from top, just below, above Exodus and below Anthrax. That's a position, isn't it?
Yeah. First time they're on here as well, so. But to be honest with you, Whitechapel, obviously, cool. I don't know who Sacred Mother Tongue is, I don't think, and I never really cared for Fozzy. But after that, that's a strong top end.
It is, yeah. I could go from Amorphous onwards. Fuzzy suck, folks, and the only reason they went but build this high was because of one person. Let's be serious here.
Yeah.
All right, 2014, and this is where debuts are made. This is where my first full weekend at Bloodstock occurred, and your first one day at Bloodstock occurred.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna be able to talk a little bit more, I guess, about the bands we saw. Well, no, because we're not here to go into massive amounts of detail. We're still just talking about the bill, really. But what I
Yeah.
mean is we'll have a little bit more knowledge about it. So right now it's all done a bit differently from me. So right, let's go to the bottom. Right. So yeah, Jaeger stage on the Friday. Now bear in mind, I will say actually, early Bloodstocks that I went to, I wasn't doing a lot of Jaeger and I wasn't doing a lot of New Blood. That's something that came later more than anything else, you know. But Jaeger stage, Cadence Noir, 10-foot Wizard, Undersmile, King Creature, and Aladama. Cadence Noir and 10-foot Wizard are two bands I'm pretty familiar with.
Yeah, yeah, same. And King Creature.
Ooh, ooh,
Don't know
King
the other two
Creature.
though.
No, not bad though. 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
New Blood stage, Goat Leaf, Convincing Clarity, No Sin Evades His Gaze, Abhorrent Decimation, Brutai, Oakheart, Along with Wolves, Sympathetic, Hogslayer, Dog Tired, Angerman, Jonestown, and Jackknife Seizure. It's that Jackknife Seizure that more than anything else for me.
Oh, Abhorrent Decimation for me. I've got two of their shirts
Yeah.
upstairs, so you definitely know them.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's just the name. It's so
Mm.
death metal, you know? Oh, I missed Thursday's Sophie stage. I'll quickly do that now. Thursday's Sophie stage is Balls Deep, Gathica, Incinerate, Monument, and Jalda both, which is a repeat band and a band I've never heard of.
Balls Deep back again though.
Jalda? Yeah? Do you know who Jalda both are?
No. No, I
Well,
don't.
right, the Sophie stage on Friday, opening with the mighty Gert. Good on them. Incredible. They're back this year as well. And I've seen them already play this live and they were brilliant. They always are. Gert, great. Cambion, Aghast, with the exclamation mark. Crocodile, De Profundus, back again. Zerozonic, Deals Death, Winterfileth, Diabolical, Skyclad, and Rotting Christ. So I think that's this will be interesting how we've seen Rotting Christ play the Sophie a couple of times and the main stage. So,
Yeah.
and I definitely didn't. Did I? No, I can't remember. I don't think I did.
Fair few recognizable names in there, don't there? Obviously,
A lot of names that I've
Winterfire
already
coming
played in
back,
it.
but yeah.
And a Friday. Well, pretty much most of the day was spent, I think. Bloodshot Dawn, Entombed AD, Primordial. This is where I saw Primordial, Flotsam and Jetsam. I watched a bit of Prong. I've always thought they were overrated. Triptychon, Hatebreed, Dimmy Boy Gear. God, was this the one where they couldn't play because of the no click track or an issue with the click track? There was a year that Dimmy played the main stage and it didn't. They only ended up playing like 20 minutes, and then it was down. And I always remember it kind of Ranger and down. I think.
Hmm. I mean, it's
Remember?
a bit all over the place, to be honest with you. For me, like obviously, I
It
love
is.
Light Down, Hatebreed, good. Entombed, I'm not really too bothered about Entombed. To be honest with you, Bloodshot Dawn would have been fun.
Yeah, it is a bit all over the place. I look at it now, I'm thinking, yeah, okay, it must have been the rest of the weekend that attracted me. Because, yeah, and there's a lot of repeat bands. Right, Jaeger stage on a Saturday, the Amorettes, the Dark Horse, Massive Wagons. Massive Wagons, god damn. Incredible. Orphan Land Acoustic. That's actually written there this time.
Yeah.
Would that make sense? I could see Orphan Land doing an acoustic set quite nice, actually. And Alzir, yeah, Massive Wagons and Orphan Land. They're talk about two big bands now.
Yeah. I kind of feel like Orphan Land doing an acoustic set, hopefully with traditional instruments, and that would be really fucking cool.
Yeah, yeah, like all sitting cross-legged kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
that could be badass, you know. Okay. The New Blood stage on the Saturday has Back Down or Die, Reprisal, Dark Eye, The Threat, Synaptic, Born of the Jackal, Resin, Metaprism, Phantom, The Canyon Observer, War Crab, Kakoda Demonic, and All Consumed. Other than a couple of repeat names, I'm not too familiar with anything there.
I mean, Reprisal and assuming it's the right Resin are the only two for me, I think, that I recognize. But that is it.
Okay, Saturday on the Sophie stage, Babylon 5, The King is Blind, Profane Omen, Old Corpse Road back in the Sophie stage, The Mercy House, Conquest of Steel, Obsidian Kingdom, Blood Red Throne, Battle Axe, Sister Sin, and Hell Yeah. Yeah, do you know what? I don't think I spent much time there based off that. I think I might have seen a bit of Hell Yeah at the end, but I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean, I was there for the Saturday. but I don't really remember an awful lot. I know we would have walked to a couple of tents because I was only there for one day, so we would have been
Yeah.
exploring and all that sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? But I don't really remember band wise much outside of the main stage.
No, I think it was the same as well. I think it would have been a lot of because a lot of the main stage was good. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
so there've been, yeah, like I think it's too long ago to even really remember, to be honest.
yeah.
Okay, main stage on the Saturday then has Evil Scarecrow, and this is the big one. This is the one that was a bit of a game changer for us, I believe.
This was the
Uh,
first time I saw them for sure, and became
yeah,
an instant fan.
I'm sure it was for me too. But then we have Shining, Decapitated, Orphan Land, Crowbar, Lacuna Call, Children of the Bottom, Carcass, and Emperor. God damn, that was actually a very strong day, even by today's standards.
Yeah, and the thing is, like being there for the day and saying like we didn't really remember much from the other stage. Like I remember, Decapitated, Orphan Land,
Yeah,
Crowbar, Children of Bodom, Carcass, and Emperor. Like I remember watching all of them.
yeah.
So I think we did spend a lot of time at the main stage. But it's a good lineup. So there you
Why
go.
wouldn't we have? Right, Sunday, Jaeger, A Resin Acoustic, Rabid Bitch of the North, The Heretic Order, Dead Horse, and Echinlination. Rabid Bitch of the North, A Resin Acoustic, Heretic Order. Yeah, there's a bit going on there.
Yeah, same three as well for me. So
Mm. All right, Sunday, New Blood, Byzanthian Neckbeard, King Go, Unseen Prophecy, Eradicator, Akbal, Leatherneck, Psychosis, Today the Sun Dies, Stone Ghost, Scordatura, Kill All the Gentlemen, Once Upon, and a self-titled. I think there's again some names that have already popped up.
yeah, I definitely don't know anyone like for sure there.
Eradicator, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. All right, Sunday, Aaron Keelock. This is Sophie's stage. Aaron Keelock, Oktoberfile, Hurricane, Morgue Orgy, Voices, Stalsarg, Storm Zone, Crow, Colobus, Graveyard, and Satan.
Oh,
Yeah. Mm,
he made an appearance.
yeah. Big headliner. Didn't make the main stage though.
Like, I mean, I think aside from maybe Graveyard, I don't even think I know Satan. Like, I don't know a lot
I know the
that's happening there.
name, but like, yeah, like I know the name, but I've never really listened to them, I think.
Hmm.
That brings us to Sunday, the main stage. We should note, people, obviously, you weren't there at this point, and we left the festival early because we were suitably unprepared for wet weather, which sort of thing mistake that we made back then. So we left, I believe, after Obituary, which is later in the day. So we didn't see Saxon and Monomorph or Megadeth. But earlier in the day, Artemis, Aborted, Revamp, Biohazard, and Avatar. Now, this is always a funny story that I now like to tell, which is I remember distinctly walking across the field while Avatar were playing and me just being like, the fuck is the state of them? Thinking they were like a black, just a bog standard makeup band. Didn't pay any attention. Oh, how things have changed. I wish I could have I wish I'd seen them just so I could be like that. I saw them in 2014 at
Yeah.
Bloodstock when they were nobodies, even though
Yeah.
they're halfway at the main stage at Bloodstock. So they're clearly not nobodies.
Yeah. Obviously, yeah, a band that so many of us are big fans of it now, and so it would have been.
Mm.
I mean, you still get to hold it over most of our heads that you were a fan on before the rest of us anyway, just not this early.
But yeah, other than that, when I look at it now, I'm not too bothered that we left early.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, Saxon again, maybe fifth or sixth time there at the festival. I think it's the first time we've seen Megadeth there. And obviously
I think you might be
I
right,
mean, I'm
yeah.
pretty sure Amon Amarth are going to come up a couple more times as well. So you're not, you didn't, oh no, that was my one opportunity to see Amon Amarth.
Right. All right, up to 2015 now. We're going to get things moving a bit more energetic now. Jaeger and New Blood on the... No, I've got to find Thursday. Let's do Thursday first. Reign of Fury, Metaprism, Desecration, Red Rum, and Arno Corpse. I remember seeing Red Rum because they played...
Mm.
I'm sure they played... We're taking the Hobbits to Isengard. And I remember that. Right?
I mean, I wasn't there, but I do know Red Rum from a name perspective. So
No worries. Okay, Jaeger stage and New Blood stage. Foul Body Jaeger stage, Foul Body Autopsy, Winter Storm, The Mighty Wraith, The Parallax Method, City of Thieves, and Witch Tripper. New Blood stage, Mortis Head, Loft, Cryosol. That is 17. Mutagenocide, Wheel of Catalyst, Countless Skies, Forgotten Remains, King Leviathan, Blackened Ritual, Diatessaron, Piss Viper, and Hex. So now we start to enter territory with starting to get familiar names. I'll let you pull out your ones rather than always me jumping in.
Yeah, I mean, ones that stand out for me on the Jaeger stage, probably Foul Body, Autopsy, I think Winter Storm, and Witch Tripper. And then on the New Blood, this is where you start getting a few more, like you said, Mortis Head, Mutagenocide, Countless Skies, of course. King Leviathan, I think so as well. Would probably be the big ones for me.
Yeah, that's you pretty much nailed them all there for me. Countless Skies, probably the biggest one out of all of them, I
Yeah.
think. I remember seeing Mortis Head a few years ago doing a nice pirate show on the Sophie stage, so we'll get back to them. But yeah, it's cool to sort of see those bands there. Okay, Sophie stage and the Dio stage in one. So the Friday had Silas back again, Oath, Based, Messiah's Kiss, Reanimator, Neobliviscarius, Fire Red Empress, Hang the Bastard, goddamn, I, Conan, and Delane. Yes, and the main stage had Nuclear Assault, Raging Speedhorn, Armored Saint, Belphegor, Enslaved, Eson, Overkill, Sabaton, and Trivium. Now, we'll just quickly say, so on that Sophie stage, I don't remember seeing much there at all, and there certainly would have been nothing that jumped out aside from maybe Hang the Bastard. But that main stage, I will always remember the main stage for Sabaton's sub headlining position where they blew Trivium off it. It was one of the most spectacular shows I'd ever seen, and I just always remember being like, Trivium are in trouble, and they were. They did a good show, but they did not manage to match that show.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess I just, I went for one day and then I didn't come back for a few years, which has nothing to do with Bloodstock, more to do with having a young kid. But
Yeah.
for me, if I had been there Friday, Neobliviscarius would have been like one. Probably not back then, but like these days, I'm like a huge fan. Those are bands I know by name. I remember you telling me the Sabaton story about that time as well. But I know I would have probably still like Friday Dio stage, Trivium, Sabaton, Eson being up there. Like I know I would have enjoyed.
Yeah. All right. Saturday, Jaeger and New Blood. So Jaeger had Divine Solace, Pig-Eyed, Circle Spectre Haunting, Knockout Kane, Morass of Molasses, and Han O' War. Yeah, both those bands, basically. Both those bands. Very different, but both we've seen live in different environments and had a lot of fun. And the New Blood as yeah, sorry, I paused too much there. That was more me. New Blood had Amphiist, I can never say Deified, Overoth. Thank you. Overoth, Mastiff, Chaos Trigger, Martyr Demona, Soulborn, Codex Alimentarius, Bloodyard, a Kazura Yami from Eden to Exile, Summer of Victorian Horde Dogs. Aside from the ones in the Jaeger stage already mentioned, the New Blood has lots of bands. Again, names have popped up, and then one giant band in my personal taste, which of course is Mastiff.
Yeah, I wouldn't have known them here though. Like back then, to be honest with you, I didn't realize they've been around since 2015 or earlier maybe. But yeah, that's cool.
I wouldn't have known them either. Okay, let's jump to the Sophie and the main stage. So in the Sophie we had Pissed, who will be famous for another reason many years later. Annihilated, Ageless Oblivion, famous for us folks. When I say that fast, for a reason, we've got a story about them from Bloodstock. Anyway, Ageless Oblivion, Ethereal, Jasad, Godsize, Battalion, Mordred, Burger Kill, Planet of Zeus, Jet Black, and Flesh God Apocalypse. Whereas the main stage had Savage Messiah, Zerath, 1349, this is what I remember. It was blazing hot and super sunny, and 1349 and all that makeup on stage looked like they were dying. Corpaclani, Napalm Death, Dark Angel, Death, DTA, Opeth, and Within Temptation. And yes, folks, you're absolutely right. That top end of that main stage was my hell even back then. I did watch Within Temptation and did not stay to the end. Anyway, that was my experience. Don't remember much from going to the Sophie stage. I think I remember watching a bit of Flesh God Apocalypse, and that's about it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of the bands, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know Planet of Zeus, I don't know Burger Kill, no Mordred, Battalion, Pissed, obviously, Annihilated.
Mm.
Struggling for the top end on both stages, to be totally honest with you. Um, but yeah, there you go.
No, there you go. Right, yeah. So to Sunday then, Jaeger stage has Kilohertz, Bigfoot, Endeavor, Blind Haze, Snowblind, and Hell Puppets. Whereas the New Blood stage has Garthia, Hell's Gazelles, Tombstone Crow, Incipit, Spiritus, Obey, Animator, Taken by the Tide, By Any Means, Left for Red, Scarred, Burden of the Noose, and Wretched Toad. I think it might just be Left for Red, really.
Yeah, Left for Red definitely. Hell's
Hmm.
Gazelles rings a bell.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it's a cool name.
Yeah, it could be that. It genuinely could be that. And I mean, Animator, I think, but I think that's again only because I think that name's been on here a few times. But if it hasn't, or
Okay.
it's a name like it, you know. But yeah, that's Left for Red is the one that stands out there, really.
Okay, right. Sophie stage and main stage then on this one. Triaxis, Izuna Drop, Dead Label, Villainy, Alumnia, Old Drake, Sail, Destrage, Lawnmower of Death, Treplium, Onslaught, and Godflesh. Whereas the main stage had Agalok, Wolf, Orange Goblin, Propane, Sepultura, Ensiferum, Cannibal Corpse, Black Label Society, and Rob Zombie. Things I take away from that Sunday. I wouldn't have known them back in the day, of course, but the likes of Alumnia, Dead Label, Destrage, that's a lot of fun. Whereas the likes of Onslaught and Godflesh are safe bets. On the main stage, I simply remember this. I swear to fucking Christ. I went into this fucking festival telling everybody, like, I'd seen this would be the third time I'd seen Rob Zombie in a matter of years, and I was still waiting to see why. Oh my God, he's such a showman. He's such a great performer. I watched him at Hellfest. No. Watched him at his show. I think it was Ozfest at the O2. Nothing there either. Then they told me, go watch him when he headlines Bloodstock. He's gonna bring a show. He's gonna bring a show. Fuck, did he bring a show? He bought backdrops that had monsters on them. Ooh, cheers, Rob. That was it. I remember turning at everybody and just being like, "You lot lied to me." Fucking Rob Zombie, man. I got beef of his shows. Seriously. I remember I actually watched that as well with Lou, Carly, and Reese getting suitably crosser as he danced. Rob danced his way across his backdrop. And I was like, "Is this it? Is this the show that I was being bigged up?" Anyway. And Black Label Society bored the tits off me because, of course, they did.
Yeah, I mean,
Anyway, your thoughts?
I, I wasn't there, but again, I don't think I would have loved it anyway because I don't really love Rob Zombie. So, I mean, from the Sophie stage, um, Destrage and Dead Label, probably the only real
Mm-hmm.
bands that I have any kind of like knowledge on. For me, Sunday's a bit of a strange one on the main stage because I don't really care too much for the top end. Cannibal Corpse probably would have been great. I'm surprised to see Ensiferum above Sepultura. Obviously, second time Sepultura have been there now, but I would have thought by now, well, with all the history and everything like that, Sepultura would already be above there. I would
Yeah.
have been super excited to see Propane because actually going way back to my early kind of metal days, I was a huge fan of Propane when I was like in my early 20s. Like I really, really
Yeah.
liked them. And I saw them once supporting somebody else at Brixton Academy, but that was it. So this would have been like a many years later seeing them again. And just for reference, like they're still going strong today. They released a new album
They
this
are.
year, which is one of my favorite albums of the year so far. It's up there in that sort of top 10, 15 sort of bracket. So back then, like I know, even though it's like I know them today, I would have been super excited for that. But they're the only band on the whole main stage that I would have been like that level of excitement for. There's bands there I would have been like, oh, cool, but not
But
excited.
not that level. Yeah.
Mm.
We should have kept track, but seeing Wolf there again, is Wolf with the kind of secret band that's played the most Bloodstocks? Like it seems like they are popping up constantly.
They're definitely the name that's come up the most so far, I think. And
Mm.
also that's moved with yeah, like in terms of like, on the main stage on a Sunday now, like it's moved up through the stages a lot as well.
Okay, then let's jump to 2016 and quickly on the Thursday of Sophie Stage, Sublime Eyes, Carabidis, Suma, Psychosis, and Phil Campbell's All Star Band. And I remember seeing quite a few of these this time round, and it's good to see Carabidis back again from unsigned to this.
Uh Right, let's have a look. Yeah, that's the only other. I think that. I mean, obviously, I know who Phil Campbell's All Star Band is, or I know who Phil Campbell is. I don't know the rest. I don't know who the
Yeah,
All Stars
yeah.
are in the All Star Band back then. But Charybdis and I don't think I know Psychosis. I think I'm just reading that and reading it like Silosis.
Right, Jaeger stage and New Blood stage for the Friday. So Jaeger has Asanas, the Hyena Kill, Chasing Dragons, Fueled, Hate, Verona, and Two Tales of Woe. Whereas the New Blood had Witch Tripper, Red Eye Revival, Souls of Jack Ketch, Cedar Sora, Husk, Gargantua, Veminant, Burning the Dream, End of Salvation, Triverse Massacre, The Crawling, Agrona, and Exhumation. And this is where I started to pay a little bit more attention to the New Blood. Not huge, but this time it was a couple more bands in there that I was interested. By this point, was fully aware of which Triple were and was beginning to find who the Crawling were. Probably the two bands that jump out the most for me.
Yeah, Witch Trip has obviously again also been on here a few times. Or have they? Or is that Witch Sorrow? Oh, with all the witches.
No,
man.
we've had Witch Tripper. We've had Witch Tripper before, definitely once, at least once.
Yeah, I don't know anyone on the Jaeger stage. So it's Witch Tripper, The Crawling, Agrona, and Exhumation of the bands I know. I
Not bad though.
think, yeah, I mean, because around this time, this is when we are listening to more like underground stuff. So I think it would be no as well, not just like I know them from now.
Yep. Okay. Sophie stage on the Friday and the Dio stage on the Friday. So Sophie had Fury, Boss Keloid, way before I really knew this band, sadly. Otherwise, that would have been amazing. Brutai, Anti-Clone, Metastasis, To Charm the Fury, Fetal Juice, 12 War, Beholder, Be fucking Holder. You know what? Maybe Beholder actually might be the one that's appeared the most. Beyond the Black and Diamond Head. That's the second appearance headlining the Sophie stage. Whereas on the main stage had Hark, Glory Hammer. I distinctly remember Glory Hammer. Evil Scarecrow. Not as good as the first time, but still thoroughly enjoyable. Stuck Mojo, Misery Loves Company, Corrosion and Conformity, Venom, Behemoth, and the one that was very special for me, the one and only time. Wait, is the one and time? Yeah, the one and only time I've seen Twisted Sister.
And I still wasn't there for this one. So, I mean, for me, Sophie stage, there's a fair few bands in there that like I know, but I think most of them are from now. I also think like Fury, but then there's a couple of different Furies, but they must be like running close for these, like how many times the name Fury has appeared at Bloodstock. Main stage looks like it's a big old mix of music again. Like, you know, Glory Hammer. Back then, I probably would have enjoyed Evil Scarecrow, obviously. Stop Mojo is a name from the past, but like not something that like I really cared for. Venom, Behemoth, and Twisted Sister would be fun.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. Okay then. And that brings us to Saturday for the Jaeger New Blood. So Cybernetic Witch Cult, Pulverized, Zlanteria, Broken, Vice, and Vicious Nature is your Jaeger band. Whereas the New Blood has Black Ink Sun, Barefist, 10-Ton Slug, Harriet, Vendetta, Ramage Inc., Famine, Conjured, Jesus fucking Christ, people. After the Abduction, Mordrake, Regulus, The Face of Ruin, Poseidon. I don't think I need to say anything. Wow, that section is insane.
Yeah, I mean, this is a New Blood. If we were doing like a who played on the New Blood and went on to the biggest thing, like the name might be there, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a couple of them.
Harriet, Conjurer. I mean, Conjurer, probably the biggest one, but there's a lot of band names in there. I don't really know an awful lot. Maybe Pulverize on the Jaeger stage, but on the New Blood stage, Ramage Inc., Famine, Vendetta, 10-Ton Slug. A lot of it.
Where the fuck was I doing all of that, man? Stupid me, probably standing there doing something dumb elsewhere. Anyway, okay. Right, Sophie stage and the main stage. Sophie stage, the Heretic Order, Mage, the Raven Edge, Raven Age, This is Turin, The King is Blind, Vodun, Misanthrope, One Machine, Bull Rift Stampede, Shining, and Acid Rain. Can't really see anything jumping out there. But anyway, the main stage, I keep doing that. Cumbian, Kill to This, Valenfire, Aglecock, Rotting Christ, Fear Factory, Paradise Lost, Gojira, and Mastodon. And what I can tell you, people, is that's where I was. I remember watching Valenfire onwards, basically. I remember this was when I realized, Fear Factory might not be in a good place anymore. But yeah, I remember Rotten Christ distinctly at this particular day. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. Mastodon were a great headliner too.
Gojira made a big jump as well now, haven't they?
Big, yeah, second from top, isn't it?
Yeah. But I mean, like main stage is strong, really. You know, like I know, like obviously you haven't been there. Fear Factory didn't perform well, but I would definitely have gone to see them because I would have expected that they would have performed well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and the Sophie stage as well. Not as strong for me, to be honest with you. The Raven Age, maybe Acid Rain. Never really cared for Shining or The Shining, any of the Shinings.
Okay, right. Sunday, Jaeger and New Blood. So the Jaeger, we have Jukebox Monkey, Outright Resistance, Akalash, Sodomized Cadaver, Dirty King, and Attica Rage. Where in the New Blood stage, we have Visions of Disfigurement, Petroglyph, Cut, Far From History, I Saw the World Burn, Art of Deception, Rabid Bitch of the North, Firebomb, The John Doe's Burial, Chronicles, Valus, Footprints in the Custard, and Gutlocker. Top part of that, maybe?
Yeah, I was struggling for names until we got to the top two, to be totally honest with you. And obviously on the Jaeger stage, Sodomized Cadaver being the other one.
Yeah, good shout. Yeah, Jukebox Monkey, a little bit more familiar with, but yeah, those are the big ones you've just named there, yeah. Okay, folks, over on the Sophie stage and the Dio stage, we have Desert Storm, Sanguine, why do I keep saying it? Crystalla, Divine Chaos, Witch Sorrow. There you go, talk about fucking witches, they're there again. Derange, Whispered, Vector, Memoriam, Pythia, and Goat. Whore, whereas on the main stage we have Ghostbath, Heart of a Coward, Unearth, Metal Allegiance, Satyricon, Dragon Force, Symphony X, Anthrax, and Slayer. Okay, folks, every Bloodstock's going to have a story like this or a story, and my biggest memory from this is entirely based around Ghostbath. Me excitedly getting up because I fucking love this band. Running over to that main stage, fuck all crowd there. So excited to experience Ghostbath, and a group of people decided to spend their time, not just go do something else, standing in the crowd and screeching like the frontman screeches for kicks. They ruined that for me. It's my biggest memory. If I could find them, I'd have bloody... it was just like, oh, it was so funny. Oh, look, this. Anyway, Slayer was also really boring. I always remember that. It was not great, which is crazy because last time I saw Slayer, they were fucking brilliant. But this was not a great Slayer. It was a good Slayer, but like it wasn't. I remember we talked about my wife at the end of it. It just didn't feel like a big deal. Maybe that's, I don't know. Maybe that's why they had to take a break. But yeah, I remember spending more time in the Sophie stage.
Did Slayer and Anthrax always have to come as a pair? Is that a thing? I'm
It
pretty sure
feels like
that
it sometimes, right?
the Friday that they were on in here, it was Anthrax and Slayer, and obviously when we saw Slayer, Anthrax as well. It's always, yeah, they're just the same band. They just go in and put a costume on or something like that and sing differently. But yeah, I mean, there's a couple of bands on there I probably would have enjoyed. I would have been similar to you. Like I would have liked Ghostbath, maybe not as much as you by this point, but I became more of a fan, and I would have been very annoyed about that. And the same way that I get annoyed when people do it to Cradle of Filth.
Yeah.
Obviously, some pretty cool names on the Sophie stage. Seeing Pythia moving up again. They've moved quite far up the lineup by now, and seeing Crystalla all the way down there at the bottom, and Desert Storm, to be fair.
Yeah, Desert Storm opening it, fucking incredible. Great
Yeah.
catch. Yeah, there's some good stuff right there. But now things get really interesting, folks. Because in 2017, Brendan and Cole made your return, and that was it. You've never missed one since.
Yep.
So let's look at the Thursday of the Sophie stage with Ramajink, Gert, The Infernal Sea, Windrose, and Battle Beast all played. Now, I remember being part of this, and this is where we have our interview, which I will never watch ever again through sheer terror of how bad it is with The Infernal Sea.
Yeah.
But that's solid.
Yeah, I remember enjoying Windrose and staying for Battle Beast, but it was really Windrose and the Infernal Sea. I was there to watch, and I can't remember. I think maybe this was one of the, you went heavy on the Thursday in it, and Windrose is a bit of a blur for you.
It sounds like I'm looking at the top of that and going, did I see these bands? Okay. Probably is one of those, yes. Right, Jaeger and New Blood for the Friday. We have Electric Mother, Hung Daddy, Trendkill, Biggest Riffus, and Hannah War. And on the New Blood stage, Merithian, Kalokura, Embodiment, Thum, Ashen Crown. God damn, this is where we really start to see these bands. Blood Thread, Raise the Void, Devil's Playground, Seek Solace in Ruin, Enslavement, Blood Oath, Mantra, and Norgivial. Yeah, over that Friday, I remember Trendkill, I remember Hannah War, Thum, I think I got a t-shirt then. I don't think I would have seen Ashen Crown. Don't remember that early, but Raise the Void, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of just looking at it, like, I mean, we spent most of the time like hanging out together, do you know what I mean? But I don't remember seeing Trendkill, and I was just looking at it thinking like, oh, what a huge regret that must be for me. But it might just be not remembering because then I became like a very big fan of theirs, and then obviously, and I haven't seen them, may not see them, you know. But yeah, lots of band names starting to sort of like pop out now for sure. You know, Ashen Crown obviously being a big one, Tomb, Embodiment. Blood Oath, Nord Jebel, I recognize as well. So
Fair enough. Sophie stage, main stage. So on the Sophie stage, Iron Rat, Internal Conflict, back again. Endeavor, Corpsing, Marassa Molasses, back again. Dendra, Season's End, Black Moth, Shrapnel, back again. Lion Eyes, and headlined by Inquisition. And then the main stage, Forever Still, Chelsea Grin, Whitechapel, Devilment. God, I remember this now. Oh, Soulwork, yeah, Decapitated, Testament, Blind Guardian, goddamn subbing, folks. How incredible is that to a monomath? And this is Amon's first headline show. Yeah, a lot of that when he starts saying that loud comes flashing back, right?
that's right, yeah, especially on the main stage. I do remember watching Marassa Molasses in particular on the
Yeah,
Sophie stage. I think we knew them quite well by then. We'd come across them just playing places like the Big Red and stuff like that. So,
yeah.
but on the main stage, aside from Chelsea Grim, which I'm pretty sure I would have avoided, uh,
Hmm.
I remember quite clearly Devilment, Soilwork, Decapitated Testament. And if I remember correctly, this is the one where Blind Guardian had no equipment, right? And they had to borrow it from a monomath, isn't it?
I think you're right, I think this is the one. It's why we didn't get much of a show, in it? Yeah.
Yeah. But it was still great and it was huge sing-alongs and everything like that. So, no complaints.
No, but weirdly, I don't really remember much from the headline monomaths like this one. When I think of monomaths headline, I'm thinking other ones.
Hmm. Being a Friday, we
100%.
definitely would have stayed there and watched it. Do you know what I mean? Like, so, yeah.
Okay, we move on. Let's go to the Saturday for Jaeger and New Blood. So, Spiderbite, Bangover, Tales of Autumn, Twisted Illusion, and Departed of the Jaeger. New Blood has Ward 16, 100-year-old man, Reaper, Titan Breed, Raised by Owls, Infected Dead, Solar Suns, Ball, Malum Sky, Hoof Knuckle, Decrepit Monolith, Zora, and Dekesis. And if you want an example of how bands can grow, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the probably lineup, right?
Yeah, there's a lot happening there. Yeah, the thing as well around this time, like we were sending out, like we were doing a lot of sort of like email interviews and stuff like that with New Blood bands. So I remember,
Yeah.
like, so for example, Bangover and Spiderbite, I remember quite clearly from that sort of interview sort of time. Obviously on the
Yeah.
New Blood stage, I mean, we're now getting to the point where it's most of the names, but the big ones probably
Yeah.
Infected Dead, Raised by Owls, 100-year-old man, and Ward 16, and Baal, and
Yeah.
Dekesis. So yeah.
Yeah, it's quite something to see, isn't it, folks? Okay, yeah, well, so Saturday on the Sophie stage and Dio stage. So Blind River, Eradicator, Craw, the 100, Abhorrent Decimation, Gods, Florence Back, Black, Red Rum, OMS, OHHMS, no longer with us anymore, Zentrex, and Macabre. And the Saturday in the main stage, Fallujah, Winterfilleth, I remember Winterfilleth, Havoc, King 810, Annihilator, Municipal Waste, Hatebreed, Creator, and Ghost.
Yeah. A bit light for me actually on the Sophie stage in this one, aside from the ones that we've had come up
Yeah.
before, Abhorrent Decimation, Red Rum, I know of Alms. I know who the 100 are. Like, do you know what I mean? There's a few like that, but I don't really have very much recollection of watching them. But I know we would have
Yeah.
watched someone because I'm pretty sure we would have both avoided King 810 or 810 or
Yeah,
810
definitely.
or whatever they want to be.
King's
Or-
Mill 8.
I mean, obviously the big one led there, like some good bands at the top of this in particular that would have been excited before going into it, which would have been like Municipal Waste, who I think this is
Yeah.
maybe the third or fourth time being here as well by now. Hatebreed again, probably also been on here multiple times by now, and I wouldn't have been super excited, but I would have been semi-excited for Creator because I liked them, but I wasn't as big a fan then as I am now. I went into this and I remember this quite clearly, like with not wanting anything to do with Ghost, and you obviously saying, look, just come see it, watch a show, it's going to win you over and all that sort of stuff. And to be fair, it was a fantastic show.
Mm.
So,
It's funny how times change because now, like, I don't really care about Ghost.
no,
Times
I didn't
change.
come out of it caring about them. I just like it was a fantastic show, and then I went back to hating them.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, Sunday, New Blood and Jaeger. So Jaeger has Everest Queen, Atragon, Silver Child, Unitra, and Voodoo Blood. Voodoo Blood, I remember strongly, actually, now I'm saying that. But the New Blood stage had Switchblade City, Battalion, Seethan Akira. What the fuck, where was I? Heathen Deity. Talked, Sentience, Shrouded, Prognosis, Netherall, Nakruthrenthe, Mist, Vorbid, and Blackyum. I don't really remember seeing much there in the New Blood, but seeing Seethan Akira, I'm just like, where the hell was I doing all of that?
Yeah, definitely the name that stands out the most there.
I guess that's a sign of the band that really went places.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely from New Blood to where they are now as they've grown.
Oh yeah. Okay, Sophie Stage, main stage. The Sophie Stage has Gravel, Blind Haze, Wretched Soul, Courtesans, Puppy, Wolfheart, Oni, Criminal, Artemis, Bosk, and Winter Sun. Whereas the main stage has Broken Teeth, Venom Prison, Possessed, Obituary, Brugeria, Hell, Skindred, Archenemy, and Megadeth. Fucking hell. I'm struggling. Like, I remember this is Hell's big show, in it? The big one, the last one.
The one we were all there, and like, yeah, the last time they played there, and it was fantastic. I remember.
I'm struggling here.
I remember, right, because I'm pretty sure, and I think this will stand true today still, that you had no interest at all in seeing Skindred, but Gemma wanted to see them, so I was there with Gemma watching Skindred, and I think you and Lou would have gone off to see somebody else. Like just probably, or just to get away from Skindred.
Possibly, yeah.
So the likelihood is you probably went Sophie or somewhere like that to see somebody else. But I don't remember Archenemy particularly. I do remember watching Megadeth, or at least watching some of Megadeth.
I think this was one where I did stay and watch them too. Okay. All right, folks, we're getting there. 2018 now, as on the Thursday of the festival. 100-Year-Old Man, Fire Red Empress, Skiltron, Bloodshot Dawn, and Arcona. And I did not have too much there because I remember this all the way up to Arcona. Maybe then I got a little bit drunk. But Bloodshot Dawn, I remember Fire Red Empress, 100-Year-Old Man. I remember all of that. In fact, this was also where we really upped that interview game because we interviewed a lot of these bands this weekend.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's nice to get a full day where I'm like, yeah, I know every one of those bands.
Let's see if we can continue that then, because we jumped the Friday on the Jaeger and the New Blood. And the Jaeger had Damaged Reich, Callus, Untamed, Kamikaze, Test Pilots, goddamn, the Heretic Order. Whereas the Friday had Turbine, Garshot, Democratus, Volgor, Pelusian, Kinesis, Seven Hells, A Ritual Spirit, Underdark, Sertraline, Body Harvest, Trivax, and King Bison. Jesus! And the worst thing is, I think like half of these bands aren't even around anymore.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, like, I know a lot of them, and some of them still, like, I know Kamikaze Test Pilots, for example, are still going. They're the few that are, but yeah, the vast majority of them I don't think are.
The maddest thing is,
yeah.
Well, the maddest thing for me is the band in that Friday that I'm probably the biggest fan of these days is Underdark, and it's probably the band that I was least aware of.
Yeah.
Although saying that, Sertraline would become oh my god, why have I forgotten the name? Why am I mind gone blank? Oh my god.
That other band.
Oh no. It's still Brendan. Well, I think.
Oh, the granddaughter. I don't know. I was going to sing a song. Anyway, they became a band that also have played Bloodstock many times, so we will see them in the lineup shortly, and then it'll pop back into Carl's head to save him having to think now, because it will be coming up in a few years.
God.
And they also played at Manchester Festival, didn't they?
Yeah, and they just played at
but
fucking Takedown.
Yeah, I mean, away from them though, there are other cool bands here, like you said.
Yeah,
Trivax, Body Harvest, Democratus, who were really cool at the time that we didn't really know a lot of these bands going into it, but through interviews and everything like that, we kind of became fans and then watched them. And yeah, like I said, a bit of a shame some of them aren't around anymore, but.
I've got to find this band that's going to bug me, man. I don't know. Absolutely, like I know. Mine has gone completely blank. Absolutely embarrassing. There is that fucking water lines. Of course, it's fucking water lines. God. Anyway, Yeah, after that, Chaos. Big fan of them. Just mine just bloody went blank. Anyway, yeah, but yeah, you named some great fucking bands there. Anyway, I'm just going to move on for like, I'm sweating now. All right, Friday. Sophie and main stage. Deity's Muse, Mortis Head, Farron, Godthrim, Sodomized Cadaver, Reprisal, Deep Profundus, Ingested, Suicidal Tendencies, Bleed from Within, and Doro, whereas the main stage had Feed the Rhino, Onslaught, Memoriam, Wednesday 13, Bloodbath, Love Bites. Yeah, Love Bites and Suicidal Tendencies had to swap because I remember this.
Yeah.
Camelot, Emperor, and Judas Priest. That was pretty good both stages.
Yeah, it was. I remember, and I do have like the members. Also, we mentioned earlier on about that we'd see Far around a bit later on, and this is where I think this is the year where we interviewed from the Sophie stage. I remember watching a bit of Doro as well because it was just like I'd never seen Doro, and it's a sort of classic, obviously. But obviously, Priest and then into Doro. I remember seeing Emperor again, who by now, I mean, if we were doing Emperor and Ethan separately, they'd be up there in the top like amount, like 5 or 6 times. And the other one as well that's come up quite a lot now. I didn't realize how many times was Onslaught.
You've come up with a few too, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember the morning. I remember Deity's Muse, Mortis Head, bit of Pyro as well was so cool. Yeah, some good stuff. All right, Saturday, Jaeger and the New Blood stage. Cranial Separation, Alpha Omega, Senescence, Luke Appleton, and Vudo Sue. On the New Blood stage, The Brood, Killanova, Cadence Noir, Ashbourne, Process, Negative Thought, 13, Oracle, Equinox, Aeonia, Valify, Psychotype, Luna's Core, and Earthbound. When we decided we were going to do this video, we were going to do it a lot shorter and a lot smaller. It's now gone spiral out of control, but we're getting there. But part of the reason was because we were going to get to this point where we were going to be looking at bands, and what we wanted to do was sort of highlight the impressive nature of Bloodstock's bands going through the years and how it can extend beyond that. And this is where a day where I think is a really good example of that, where you see a band like Aeonia, who we met and knew and got to know and listened to for the first time at this festival, and have now, been to their own festival several times, have experienced them live many times. And eagerly await what comes next. That's a really cool feeling. And I'd also say the same, although not to that scale, but it's still an important scale, Earthbound, right?
Yeah.
I'd argue they've done brilliantly as well, but I'd say it's a band that certainly we've followed along with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is where we met those bands, and all these years later, I'm still a fan. And it's great to see that they're both in slightly different paths, but both still kind of going. Earthbound still quite recently releasing new music, and Aeonia still sort of championing their stuff and got their own festival, Aeonia Fest, going on in Sheffield that people should try and support. So it's cool. Like we said, we see a lot of bands that drop off of it, and it's cool to come across a couple of bands that we found through the festival who are still, doing their thing and doing it well.
And a shout out, obviously, to Luna's Call and Killanova as well, because they're two bands that are doing great too. Okay, then let's jump to the Saturday at the Sophie in the main stage. So we have Forgotten Remains, Limb, Weight of the Tide, Dead Label. I remember Dead Label. This was a fucking blast. Conjurer, Vola, A Forest of Stars, Voyager, With the Dead, Exhorder, and Orphaned Land. And on the main stage, we had Nailed to Obscurity, Power Trip, Orden Ogan, I know where we were then, Septic Flesh, Venom Inc., Combi Christ, Elstorm, I know we weren't, and Cannibal Corpse with Gojira as the headliners. You can just see it and immediately go. Even back then, there would have been easily to identify. You would have been banging on about Orden Ogan, so we were definitely there.
Definitely,
I know we were there. Yep, and I think Power Trip was a must see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I remember Orden Ogan actually. I remember it clearly because it was the first time he wasn't playing guitar because he busted his hand, so he was singing only.
Cool.
But like this here, like this day in both of these stages is the best example of the progression, right? Because we've got Conjurer and Dead Label who are now gone from New Blood to Sophie. Some great bands that are around them as well on the Sophie, Vola, Forest of Stars, Orphan Land again. And then obviously on the Saturday we've got Gojira who have now worked their way all the way up to be top of the bill.
Yeah, you're nailing it. Absolutely right. And you've got some old favourites around them, basically.
Yep.
All right, and then on Sunday we have Dawn of Anubis, Death Goldblum, True Believer, Abduction, and Gemma Fox on the Jaeger stage. Whereas the New Blood has Imminent Annihilation, Autocracy, Druge, Crawlblind, Etherfield, Obsidian, Displace Hell, Barbarian Hermit, Dead Before Morning, Sky Brood, Sellsword, Servers, and Sarid, SRD. It's a couple of the names that jump out, but you know what? I look at that day and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not sure if a lot of these bands are still around, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. It's like Dead Before Morning, Barbarian, Hermit, and probably True Believer are the
Mm,
ones that I know the most from back then, but I don't know what they're doing these days, if anything.
yeah. Dawn of Anubis, the same, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Sophie Stage and Dio Stage. So we have Doomsday Outlaw, Uncured, King Leviathan, Alien Weaponry, Sangari, Underside, Demonic Resurrection, Mantar, Act of Defiance, Paul Bearer, and Watain as a headliner. And over on the main stage, Monument, Evergrey, Amaranth, Fozzy, Shasta, Mr. Big. I remember this section, Devil
Yeah.
Driver, At the Gates, and Nightwish. I remember that being, yeah, that big section of just trying to do everything to avoid the main stage.
Yeah. I also remember on the Sophie stage that this being the first time we'd experienced this, you booked a very, very young popular band in the Sophie stage with Alien and Weaponry,
Yeah.
and this is too bit like crowd-wise, there is too much interest. It being
Yeah.
rammed. But obviously that was the first time I would have seen Alien Weaponry. Well, I guess probably I don't know. Maybe we've seen them in a normal venue by now, but definitely at Bloodstock. Demonic
Mm.
Resurrection back again, Watain. And on the main stage, yeah, like you said, I didn't really have any interest in that middle section at all. But I do remember watching Devil Driver at the Gates and Nightwish. So the top
Yeah.
end of it was good.
Yep. All right, folks, 2019, and we go straight to the Thursday on the Sophie stage. I know this was a big deal. Barbarian Hermit, Blind River, Footprints in the Custard, Tent on Slug, and importantly, Rotting Christ, because this was about the time where you were just like, I fucking love Rotting Christ,
We
basically.
actually we missed, I think maybe Blind River and Footprints in the Custard because they were in the signing tent and we went over and got a book signed for your birthday, innit?
You
But
did. It's just here.
and Gemma spent like, there's a whole like don't be touching the band, but she like just kept grabbing the band
Ah,
and got a kiss from the singer. And I was like trying to be all respectful, but just standing at the back going, hi, hi.
sorry about that. Okay, Jaeger and New Blood stages then. So Sophie Sparham, Eyes of the Raven, Graves, Beggar, and Sky Pilot won the Jaeger. And then on the New Blood, we had Zero, Death by Key, Grand Elder. Still have a t-shirt bought from Bloodstock and Grand Elder. Midnight Prophecy, Tomorrow is Lost. The Hope, Burden. God damn, I missed that band. Blind Divide, Pravitus, Mara, Widows, Gaia, Sar, and Anakin. In fact, this was the first year, maybe not the first year, this is the first year Dan came. Because I remember
Right.
I had an interview. I think we were interviewing during the Hulk Burden, and I got him to go and film it for me.
Uh, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of recognizable names.
Yeah,
I've got a SAR t-shirt upstairs from this one as well. Yeah, back in the
cool.
days when you used to be able to buy merch without having to queue up for half the fucking festival.
And then still
But
not finding it there.
yeah, yeah,
All right, main stage and Dio stage. Sorry, Dio stage and Sophie stage. So Sophie, Zealot Cult, Controller Storm. So still around then. Blasphemer, Defcon 1, Bomb Cauldron, Damnation's Hammer, Carabidis, Sulfur, Countless Skies. Remember, folks, New Blood before, now near the top of the Sophie stage. Raging Speed, well, just below Raging Speedon and Grand Magus, who are two established bands. And then we have on the main stage, Incite, Zentrex, Death Angel, Metal Church, Soulfly, Children of Bodom, Tesseract, Powerwolf, and Sabaton. This is Sabaton's first opportunity to fully headline.
yeah. And where were Powerwolf like earlier on? Weren't they on like the Sophie or something like that? We saw them once
Sophie stage?
before,
I think they
and
were,
we spoke
yeah.
about how much they grew by then. And you can see here, like to come back to the festival instantly into the support slot there. That's how big they've
Mm,
become by then. Second time for Soulfly back at the festival as well, and fifth or sixth time for Bottom. But by now, other bands have moved above them and they've started moving down. But it's a strong
I'm just trying.
Friday. I remember Insight as well, actually. We watched them also at Incineration Fest that same year, and they were really
Yeah.
good fun. And some relation to Max Cavalera, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly what it is. Son, uncle, something like that. Richie
Is it
Cavallera in it.
his stepson or son? It's definitely a
Mm.
relation. I can't remember which one it is.
And then, yeah, like you said, a few bands coming back on the Sophie stage, like Countless Skies, Control the Storm, Charybdis, who we've seen a fair few times, is still going strong by this point.
All right, let's jump to Saturday on the Jaeger and the New Blood stage. And the Jaeger, Pemphill Gold, Black Falcon, Foul Body, Autopsy, and Daybreaker played that stage. Whereas the New Blood had Infurium, Stormcast, Goat Monsoon, Reaper X, Scars of Remembrance, Grief Ritual, Volantis, Empire Warning, Void Lurker, Diginova, Lockhorns, Deformation of Man, and Masters. Cool. God damn, that's a strong day.
Yeah, it is. It is for us as well. And actually nice to see that there's a few bands on there that are still going today as well.
Yeah.
You know, which is good. So obviously we became fans of quite a few of them, really. And I'm pretty sure I've got a t-shirt from about 70% of that. Masters Call, Lockhorns, Empire Warning, Scars of Remembrance, Goat Monsoon, obviously. I think I've got about 6 of their t-shirts. I think I've only ever made 6. I've got one of each.
It is nice, as you say, to see bands that we can 100% say without a shadow of doubt are still going, well, still go, whether it be strong or not, are still going strong. So like that is comforting. Because sometimes you do look at this and go, well, even just, you know, they might still be active, but like we've not heard anything from them for years, for example, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, Saturday, Sophie and Maine. So Zealot Cult. No, sorry, that's Friday. The Parallax Method, Odd Crew, Lotus Eater, Guardians of Time, Red Method, Dustbolt, Helheim, Three-Headed Snake, Black Shuck, Divine Chaos, and Tuck. God damn, I forget Tuck. Fucking headline, but there you go. Crystalla, I remember them on the main stage. Cancer Bat, Swallow the Sun, Evil Scarecrow back again. Die Artist Murder. Oh, this is the infamous Wind open one, isn't it?
The windy one, isn't it? Because of the headline on it.
Yeah. Yeah. The Wild Hearts, Anthrax, and of course Parkway Drive. Such controversy about Parkway beforehand, and then considered to be one of the finest modern headline sets to date. And yeah, there's plenty that's memorable there, but really it is what I think stands out as Red Method on the Sophie stage. And I'm generally asking the question, were we fans at this point? Did we know them?
I think we did. I do kind of have vague memories of watching them. I don't know if we went there because we were like big fans and we were going to watch that, or if we just knew them, maybe, you know, were intrigued by it, so went along to see it. But I do feel like I remember seeing them play on the Sophie stage.
How interesting. So I just don't. I'm looking at it thinking, is it not for another couple of years? And then I got to know them, and you know, but maybe you know, it does all blur sometimes, folks. You know, but like so maybe. Okay,
yeah,
all right. Well,
I was very happy with
sorry.
I was very happy with the headliner. You know what I mean? I was going into it quite excited because I'd become a fan of them around whatever that album was called now. That I can't remember, but that one. So yeah,
we've been doing this for 2.5 hours. People, give us a break for forgetting shit. I remember you were big. You've always been a bigger Parkway fan than I was, but yeah, you bigged this up enough that it was like sometimes by osmosis the hype gets you, and it was cool as fuck. Anyway, right. So New Blood and Jaeger for the Sunday. So Crimson Tusk, Jackal's Backbone, Victus, Jailbirds, and Woman of War, who features up members of the Kesis and stuff like that as a sort of Man of War parody, which was fun. I remember interviewing them in that role. And on the New Blood stage, Fractions, 28 Double, Fallen Temples, Bastard, Illyrian, Take Refuge, Asect, Fearbound, Lost in Lavender Town, Golden Core, Sethius, Led Robot, Damnum, and the Lazies. Top 2 are still doing stuff. I saw Damnum a couple of times since then as well. There's familiar names, but I'm not entirely sure a lot of these bands are still active.
Yeah, I was going to say it's a bit different to the other 2 days, and like names are familiar from either interviewing or being there and watching them, but not in the same way with the other ones where I'm still listening to music and seeing new releases and stuff.
Yeah. So, such is life. All right. So, Sophie stage on a Sunday then, and the main stage. So, Sophie stage begins with Resin, which, if we believe it's the same Resin from earlier on, bloody hell, still kicking around. Harbinger, Witch Tripper. And I have a funny feeling that this is the last time, or the last time that I don't remember too much from Witch Tripper after this, but maybe I'm wrong. Solitary, Wheel, Boss Keloid, obviously, Crescent, Viola Blast, Blood Red Hourglass, Matushka, and Elf Beauty. And on the Ronnie RJD stage, All Hell the Yeti, Aborted, Roster Boss, Soilwork, Hypocrisy, D. Snyder, Cradle, Queensryche, and Scorpions. Holy fuck, have I forgotten how bad that top end is on the main stage. Like, each to her own, folks, but I've never cared about Queensryche and Scorpions. No, take your pop music elsewhere.
Yeah, I remember watching Cradle, and I remember watching Soilwork, and I think I remember watching Hypocrisy and Aborted on there. I haven't got quite so many memories from like the Sophie stage. Obviously, we know a lot of the bands there, and a fair few of them have been at Bloodstock a few times in the lineup so far. But memory-wise, I'm definitely foggy.
Yeah, foggy, but I'd have been seeing Boss Keloid at this point. Okay, right, 2020. Which we're gonna. I'm just going to quickly run for everybody because basically this is the one that didn't happen, and because of a certain pandemic. But super quick because a lot of bands were booked before then, and how it was looking before it. So Thursday was going to have Anakim, Raised by Hours, The Crawling, Necrogoblicon, and the Night Flight Orchestra. That's a good day.
Yeah.
Friday, Sophie was going to have Dog Tired, Necrot, Exhumed, Bosk, Sowen, and Bloodywood. Fuck, man. Isn't that big Bloodywood on now? That's incredible.
Yeah.
Saturday, Video Nasty, Sharks in Your Mouth, Baylor, Viscera, Winterfilleth, Ramagic, Memoriam, and Cow. Decapitation, people.
Sophie.
And on the Sophie for Sunday, Gravelines, Liberty Lies, Pissed, Vexed, Wolfjaw, Black Tongue, Green Lung, Blasphemia, Unleash the Archers and Hatebreed. I mean, Green Lung as well in that. Fucking hell. Sophie was looking strong.
Yeah.
And on the main stages, we would have had Lost Society, Svalbard, Acid Rain, Sacred Reich, Dark Tranquility, Philip H. and Selmo and the Illegals. Take my word for it, that would have sucked. Skindred and Devon Townsend. Don't worry, folks, Devon will make it up to us, or we're making up with Devon. I'm not sure how that works. We'll all make it up to each other another year. But yeah, pretty strong variety on that one. Saturday, Savage Master, Conjurer, Toxic Holocaust, Silosis, Ginger, Violence, Bury Tomorrow, Paradise Lost, and a behemoth headliner. And then on Sunday, Idle Hands, Butcher Babies, Diamond Head, Life of Agony, Orange Goblin, Gloria Hammer, Saxon, and Judas Priest. Brendan, just briefly, what kind of jumps out of you about all of that?
I remember this as being me and super excited to see Cattle for the first time because this was around the Death Atlas sort of era. And then being really frustrated that it was like cancelled, even though I understand why. And the same with Devon. But, you know, you're looking at like on main stage wise, you know, Devon, Dark Tranquility for me, obviously. Probably the two big sort of standouts. Seeing Conjurer now on main stage, considering we've gone New Blood, Sophie, main. You know, so again, like that's the full kind of progression level so far.
First Bury
look,
Tomorrow? First Bury Tomorrow time they've come up?
I think so, right? Actually, yeah. And like I said, the Thursday would have been a great day because that's party day, and you know, just Anakin Raised by Hours and Crawling would have been cool as fuck.
Okay, folks, let's jump to 2021. And there's a bit more going on here because, you know, we hadn't had Bloodstock for 2 years, so we get an extra day. So let's just do the Wednesday. Wednesday was like the Thursday. So Wednesday had Anakin, Ward 16, Raised by Owls, Beholder, and Onslaught. I remember enough about this, so maybe we didn't get crazily fucked then, because I even remember Onslaught.
Yeah, you and I think, only stayed for Onslaught and then I ended up having a blast. But I also, I remember... the only one I'm not 100% sure of seeing is Beholder, but that might have been like a food stop or something like that. Obviously, Ward 16, Raised by Owls, and Onslaught for sure, I remember. And we would have been there for Anakin because it's the first band, isn't it? So
yeah, we would have been, no question. All right, so Jaeger and New Blood for the Thursday, folks. So, all right, Jaeger, Tortured Demon, Shackled, King Corpse, Bad Earth, Master Charger, Axiom, Milner, and Ghosts of Men. One of those is famous. We'll get to that in a moment. New Blood, Halveskia, Odysseus, Solcura, Riptide, Casket Feeder, Slave Steel, Medicine, The Best, Gordia, Pemphrey Gold, As the World Dies, Battleborn, and Kura Kuma. I'll mention New Blood quickly. Just that Pemphry Gold. That's a band that I really liked at the time, but they're not around anymore. Slave Steel is still going strong, and Kurakoma are brilliant still. But I'll let you basically the Jaeger one. That's the big
Oh, what,
one,
the
I guess.
famous
Torture
one?
Demon in it. Yeah, the famous
I was
one.
going to say Master Charger. Now I'm joking.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we said earlier on with Alien Weaponry, it was like the first time that they, booked a band of like young lads that were kind of ripping it up and overfilled a tent, and then this one at least matched that, maybe surpassed it. Yeah,
good
so, yeah,
question. It's quite famous.
yeah.
Okay, and on the Sophie stage, we had Fury, Thunderous Jones, Ashen Crown, Luna's Call, Urn, Seethan Akira, Forlorn World, Famine, King Witch, The Crawling, Punk Rock Factory, which obviously I would have been anywhere but that, and Lawnmower Death. Tell you what though, that's still, I look at that and I think that's a good. If you gave me that day this year, more than happy. I still wouldn't see Punk Rock Factory, but like still.
Yeah, I mean, I remember we had a couple of years of this where we have like a sort of like two or like triple or quadruple kind of hits in a row. And I remember us watching Ashen Crown, Luna's Call, Earn in particular, like in a row, and just like kind of being like planted in there and it just being banging. I remember the Crawling very well as well. We would have both been big fans of them by now.
Yeah.
And I did go to see Punk Rock Factory, and it was great fun.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah. Right, Friday, Jaeger and New Blood stage. So Jaeger has Wall, Black Emerald, Ale of Adam, Godless Sons, and Haxon. Whereas the New Blood had Terminal Sun, Severanth, Perla, Insurgent, Beyond Extinction, Desolation, Beyond Salvation, Sound of Origin, Sail, Elder Druid, Broken Jaw, Colopsilicious, which, yeah. And I mean, easily Wall, of course. In fact, I just saw Wall play Takedown a few months ago. Beyond Extinction, maybe arguably the band immediately look at it and go, there's the one that's still doing some serious shit, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in terms of bands that are still going, I'm just trying to think if any of the others are. Like, obviously, we know a lot of names by now, like Haxon and Godless Sons and stuff like that. But
Well, Beyond Salvation are, I think
Beyond
Terminal Sun
Salvation,
are
yeah.
as well. But yeah, there's a few that I'm just a bit like, I'm not too sure, you know? All right, let's do Sophie and the Dio stages. On the Sophie, we have King Creature, Deified, Agrona, Dog Tired, Gargantua, Primatide, fucking Primatide back, Wood Shrapnel
Yeah.
as well, Raging Speedorn, Evile, Conan, and Napalm Death. Lots of returning favourites there. Whereas the main stage has Fetal Juice, Divine Care, Svalbard, Acid Rain, Higher Power, Venom Prison, The Wild Hearts, Skindred, and Devon Townsend. A mix across both those stages, I tell you.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's good bands across, like, comfortable day of good music. It's a lot of returning bands on the Sophie stage, but then it was a much bigger festival, wasn't it? They filled it out.
Yeah.
I remember Devon obviously very, very clearly. First time I'd seen it, and it was a great show. I remember Svalbard and Venom Prison as well. Actually, obviously Venom Prison aren't around. Well, as far as I'm aware, unless they do any kind of comeback stuff. But like at least at the moment, they're not doing anything.
It's been years. I don't think that.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Yeah. And Svalbard are about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Okay, then let's go to Saturday on the New Blood and Jaeger stages. So on the Jaeger, we have Zookeeper, the New Sun, Lowen, Primatite, and Mountain Caller. That's crazy. I just got to stop because I would have 100%. I saw Mountain Caller, they're a big fan, but like transport me back now. I don't think I would have even known who Lowen were, and they're a brilliant band. But on the New Blood stage, Black Atlas, A Horse Cold War, Kenzokia, Azakaris, Iron Tooth, Cottonmouth, Hawks, Nazu, The Ghouls, Grey Stag, Abduction, and Hannah War. Yeah, I think the big one from there is Hawks. Considering I just recently interviewed them as well. That's not live at the time recording, but yeah, I've got an interview sitting on with Hawks.
Yeah, probably then the big one. I mean, I remember clearly kind of seeing Hannah War, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
Like obviously they're not around, but they're not really like a band that's sort of releasing like albums on a regular or anything like that, Primatite are an interesting one just because they were also played on the Sophie the day before. So on the Jägermeister now as well. So I don't know if you get to count that as two appearances or one. So we start doing that with the bands that were on 2 days, then they jump very, very far up. Yeah,
Beyond that, Abduction is still doing good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, Sophie and main stage. And the Sophie, Netherhold, Video Nasties, Terror 4, King Goat, Baylor, XL Life, Viscera, Winterfilleth, Ramage Inc., Memoriam, and Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons. Whereas the main stage had Borstal, Conjurer, Wargasm, Malevolence, While She Sleeps, Paradise Lost, Cradle of Filth, and Creator. And there's a bit of an argument to sort of say, okay, the times are changing, aren't they?
Yeah, yeah. Mostly, you still got like it's strange, like because Winterfilleth, like while they were continuing to grow, for the last 2 or 3 appearances here at Bloodstock, they're still quite high up, but like on the Sophie stage, you know what I mean? It's like they're not like static, but it's slow progression with the festival. Video Nasty's still doing things?
Good question. Good question. I'm not entirely sure they are.
Yeah, I've not heard much for a while. And like some of the other things that, you know, like Memoriam, for example, who've been on here a lot so far. But again, that whole thing where earlier they were very much like lower to mid main stage. You know, so scale wise, whether it's the festival or whatever, they're like high up now, but high up in the Sophie. I remember Borstal very, very well. They were very enjoyable and very fun to interview actually afterwards. Obviously, great progression for Conjurer. I remember avoiding Orgasm like the plague and still plan to continue to do so for the rest of my life. I don't really remember seeing Malevolence here that much.
No, I don't either. Like I think of Malevolence and Bloodstock, I think later, but we would have definitely been there for While She Sleeps.
Yeah, and that might be why we didn't for Malevolence. That might have been like go and get drinks, go and get food, whatever it was, ready for While She Sleeps. And obviously Cradle of Filth from Creator and Creator were fantastic. You know, great show. So
there was actually, that you talked me into that one. I mean, I was always going to watch the headliner, but you kind of made you picked it up nicely, and it paid off. Okay, Sunday on the Jaeger and New Blood. Right, so we have Spectral Darkwave, the Howling Tides, Trilobite, Boycott the Baptist, and Gemma Fox. Whereas the New Blood had Sorceress of Sin Wired, Sorceress of Sin, Words That Burn, Son of Boar, Hybridized, This Is Endless, The Ingester, Fellowship, South of Salem, Deitist, Frozen in Shadows, Strangle Wire, and Ghosts of Atlantis. How fucking strong is that New Blood stage?
yeah, it's good, isn't it? And and this is the year, isn't it, where Ghosts ended up on the Sophie.
That's right. They got moved to the Sophie stage, didn't they? So they didn't. Because I'm about to say it. I'm looking at this thinking, I know I've seen them play, but I don't remember playing them in the New Blood. But this is the one where they got moved to the Sophie.
Somebody moved, and someone must have moved around, and then Ghost got moved across there to fill the gap. But I can't remember who it would have been. We might be able to see it in a minute and guess. Fellowship, obviously, South of Salem. I think South of Salem is still doing things. I'm pretty sure. Obviously, Ghost of Atlantis are still doing things. Not sure about any of the others.
Well, This Is Endless and The Ingester are two that I'm not sure really do anything. Son of Boar is still active. Words That Burn is still active. South of Salem is the same. Probably the one that feels like they're maybe on a rise, aside from Ghost. But we can't count them now because they're in the Sophie. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at Sophie and Main. So Sophie had internal conflict. The 100th time this band's popped up. Grave Lines, Liberty Lies, Pissed. This is the famous Pissed interview. It's available on YouTube. If you want to see Pissed, and Me on My Own. It must have been here because I had to do this on my own because you had gone to see Ghosts.
Yeah, so it must have been here.
Must have been Liberty.
Maybe
it must have been Vexed then. Vexed, right? It must have been a band after because Pissed would have finished, come over, and you would have gone to see it. But about then, okay. And I love, if Vexed went there, I do love Vexed. Wolfjaw, Black Tongue, Green Lung, Necronautical, Black Spiders, and Evil Scarecrow. Headlining the Sophie stage, which is a credit to them. And on the main stage, Cedar Blot, Bloodshot Dawn, Diamond Head, Bleed From Within, Orange Goblin, Therapy, Glory Hammer, Saxon, and Judas Priest. So this is the one where you said you were seeing Saxon, yeah?
That's right, yeah, because we stayed for Priest because I don't know why. Maybe because Rose.
I remember I had cranky ass Dan who had been complaining all afternoon about being tired and eventually just wore me down. And I was like, I'm tired too. Let's just go.
But yeah, I do remember it. I mean, I remember watching Saxon. Like, it doesn't change anything. I'm not a huge Saxon fan. But I remember watching them, like they don't do anything wrong. Like, do you know what I mean? They're not an offensive band or anything like that. It's good kind of rock music. I kind of remember if like, I know I wouldn't have stayed for Evil Scarecrow because that would have been the closing the festival after Priest.
Yeah.
I do remember, pretty confident I remember watching Green Lung as well, but to be honest with you, I'm a little bit blank outside of that. I don't remember seeing Therapy.
Oh
I don't remember
shit.
seeing Orange Goblin.
It had been an extra day one, so maybe it was just tired at this point.
Yeah.
I imagine if we were tired, you'd have been tired.
Hmm.
Okay, folks, 2022, we got 3 more to go through because obviously we're not doing this year. That's a entirely separate video when the lineup is finished. But we are going to look at 2022 now. And on the Thursday, I think this is my famous. I've got fucked up heavily. Basement Torture Killings, Thum, Mother Vulture, Nana War of Steel, Necrogoblicon, and Dark Tranquility. I remember interviewing Nana War of Steel.
Hmm.
What happened afterwards? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely watched
Generally,
them. And obviously for me,
yeah.
Dark Tranquility. I remember watching Dark Tranquility and loving it.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad you remember then. I don't.
Yeah.
All right, Jaeger and New Blood. So Jaeger had Vulgar Dissection, Swamp Coffin, Certain Death, and Sincolima. And the New Blood had Hellfected, Nomadus, Erosis, I Fight Bears, Existenlist, Catalyst, Haint, Fornoth, Pariah, Vermin Throne, Mechanized, Fire Sky. Oh, that's one that'll make me angry. Not angry, but you know what I mean, but annoyed.
Yeah.
And Thumadoom Band. Um, oh, well, let me just say then, really, there's very few bands that it felt like immediately after Bloodstock went, yeah, that's that done. And like you'd kind of spent a while supporting them and really kind of getting behind them for this and all of that, interviews and all that kind of thing. And literally, it felt like almost immediately after the festival, it was like, yeah, that's all done now. And it was like, the
Yeah.
fuck was the point of all that support?
Yeah. I mean, you never know the reasons and all that behind it, but you're right. Like Fire Sky are from the New Blood side of that, are the band that stand out in terms of name of like people, a band we were fans of that aren't
Yeah.
around. Obviously, on the Jaeger
Yeah.
stage, we've got Sinkalima still going strong, so that's cool.
And
So
Swamp Coffin.
yeah. So some positives.
Absolutely. In fact, Swamp Coffin just recently got announced for Damnation. But also Catalyst are doing great stuff as well, folks. If you've never checked them out, go check them out. They rock hard. Okay, then. Oh my God. Friday on the Sophie main stage. So the Sophie has Crepitation and Human Nature thrown into exile. Party Cannon. Machine Head. What? That's the secret set that basically we didn't say, but you know what? From the stories I've heard, I would have probably hated it purely for the
Yeah.
discomfort. But anyway, Discharge, Heathen, I Hate God, Avatar special, and Sleep Token. Yeah, that was a thing. And then main stage, Red Method, Heart of a Coward, Sorcerer, Bloodywood, Doyle, Gwar, Exodus, Testament, and Behemoth. There's a couple of special sets from these two. I think really maybe Red Method and Avatar, I think.
Yeah, definitely Red Method. I remember them open up. It was great, and obviously Avatar was fucking amazing.
Mm,
Like you said, huge Machine Head fans, but it wouldn't have been worth it.
yeah.
I was trying to think, like obviously there's a lot of bands on here, that we like. Party Cannon are obviously still doing good things. Sleep Token have grown phenomenally. That never really been that much of a fan. I didn't watch them here either. I do
No,
remember going to Guar. I think we spoke about it earlier on, whether Guar came
we
back. This is
did.
the year they came back. I remember watching some of Behemoth and it not being great.
I think they played quite a few times at this point, and it felt like it's a bit like okay, and a little
Mm,
bit of like tiredness, after seeing them a few times, maybe,
yeah, maybe.
maybe. Okay, Jaeger and New Blood. So Jaeger on the Saturday has Warlock AD. They don't exist anymore, actually. Boss, Solar Suns, Master Charger, and the Cunts. And on the New Blood stage, Collected Silent, Draconian Rain, Portrayal of Ruin, Cast in Tephra, Ambrius, Steel Mage, Novacrow, Head Press, Collapse the Sky, Imperium, Tribe of Ghosts, and Viction. Now, thankfully, there are a couple there that aren't just going strong. They're still doing spectacular. One, and in fact, in the time recording, is about to release a record. But there's also a few names that I haven't heard much for a while.
Yeah, and one is at Bloodstock 2026,
Hmm,
Imperium in particular.
of course. Yeah, and that's the one I'm referenced with the album. So yeah,
Oh yeah,
they're
there you
on
go.
fire at the moment.
Obviously,
Yeah,
Tribe Ghost doing well as well, which would be the other one that you would have been referencing.
yeah, yeah.
A lot of good bands in there. Collapse of Sky, Nova Crow. Master Charge has appeared a few times by this point. I remember the cunts, but
Yeah.
I don't not from watching perspective, but it was like some one comedy song that had
Boris.
been released about Boris, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was one that kind of got me a lot of attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then over to the Sophie and the main, where in the Sophie we had Sister Shotgun, but who cared about that because we then had Mastiff, Pupil Slicer, and Cage Fight in a row, which is the joke. Chira, Defects, Blood Youth, Ingested, Samiel, Ferocious Dog, and headlined by Malevolence.
Mm.
And then on the Dio stage, Bass, Lost Society, Spirit World, Lorna Shore, Silosis, Ginger, Buried Tomorrow, Timmy Borgir, and Merciful Fate. What jumps out at you there, other than that little section on the Sophie?
Yeah, I mean, I remember that section as well, saying it's one of the other 3, 4 in a row. It was really good. Don't remember Malevolence, again, to be honest with you. I remember Mad
Yeah.
Regrets about Lorna Shore. We interviewed them this year as well, right? And then
Yeah, later in
the
the
Pain
day.
Remains trilogy kind of came out afterwards, and it'd been like, I wish I'd paid more fucking attention. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I remember not going anywhere near Merciful Fate. Um, and I don't really remember watching Dimmu either, so I'm not sure where we might have been around that slot, just chilling somewhere or maybe listening from the back.
I know where we were. If it's time-based and it's quite close, we would have been in the New Blood. Imperium, Collapse the Sky,
Mm,
Tribe of Ghosts, that's all at the top end. We probably
yeah.
would have been around that area. I remember watching a bit of Merciful Fate. I do remember watching a bit of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Jaeger and New Blood for the Sunday. So Jaeger has Woodman, Law of the Woodman, Deadlock Saints, Tombs, and Acid Throne. Whereas the New Blood has Prolapse AD, Sweet May, Callous Hands, Descenser, Devastator, Unburier, Dripfed Empire, Apollyon, Karma's Puppet, Sylvain, Muskill, Denali, and Taurus. From that, Tombs and Acid Throne. In fact, Tombs released a record a couple of months ago. That's really worth checking out, folks. On the Jaeger. On the New Blood, there's a lot of bands where I'm like, okay, I know your names, but are you still around?
Yeah, it's the same issue I'm having. I don't really know Tombs very,
Mm.
very well, but obviously I know Acid Throne are still doing things. So, but yep.
Hmm. Okay, well, there we go. We move on to the Sophie and Main. And on the Sophie, we had Pollution, Desert Storm, Guilt Trip, Noctum, Harriet, Orbit Culture, Il Nino, Strigoi, Belphegor, and the Night Flight Orchestra. And then on the Sunday main stage with Scarlet Riot, Vended, Butcher Babies, Violence, Venoming, Cattle Decapitation, Dark, Funeral, Killing Joke, Lamb of God. I'll always remember you getting annoyed with a friend during Cattle Decapitation because it wouldn't shut up during it.
Yep.
So that's that we definitely saw Cattle Decapitation together.
We did, yeah. Yeah, I mean, some regrets really here because I don't think I saw Orbit Culture here. And then it's one of those ones again we were just saying like with Lorna Shore, like we kind of I became more of a fan of the band afterwards, and then having the fucking opportunity to see them since.
Yeah.
Kind of vaguely remember. Things I know we would have potentially seen Harriet, but I don't know if it was this one or not. Like seeing Harriet quite a lot, so it's like they blur, don't they? I do remember being at the main stage for like the Sunday because like that same friend who was really annoying during Cattle Decapitation wanted me to come and stand with him while he watched Scarlet Riot, which I did without making stupid noises in his ear. Get that out there.
I distinctly remember this was the hot year, wasn't it? This was the hot year because I can picture
Uh,
sitting there during Strigoi and just not having the energy to even really do much. I'm sure this was the hot year.
yeah, I think you might be right because and then
Mm.
that's the year then that Machine had played and Avatar was a fucking sweatbox and all that. But
Yeah. Okay, then we move on, folks, to 2023, where on the Thursday, The Violent Incident, Frozen Soul, King 8100, Visions of Atlantis, and Skynyd, SKYND.
good.
Fuck, man. I know we would have definitely gone to see Frozen Soul.
Yeah, I
I
do
vaguely,
actually. I don't remember the first two bands as a thing here, which is a bit weird. But I do also remember, and it might be this year, that it was a year that we kind of got there like super early and got absolutely smashed at the tent. So by the time we went round, we were already
Is
fucked.
this that year? Because this is I'm struggling with this one. Like,
Frozen Soul, I remember. I do remember watching Summer Visions of Atlantis and Skinned. I know Gemma and I went to watch a bit of it, but from outside the tent because this is the true crime sort of electro metal stuff, like all telling serial killers, like real life stories and stuff like that. So we went to watch some of it, but we didn't go like fully in because it was just more of an intrigue watch.
okay, so rough Thursday for us. It happens, folks. Try not to go too hard on Thursday. Advice we barely listen to, but we do tell everyone to try. Anyway, so Friday, Jaeger and New Blood. So Jaeger had This Summit Fever, Wild Heart, Death Fiend, Dunes, and Hidden Intent. And the New Blood stated Apathy, Uridium, Arms to Oblivion, Locust, Void Walker, Square Wild, Moon Reaper, Head Press, and Street Soldier. A couple of these obviously jumping out quite obviously. Do you know what I want to sort of say is like, I know 100% This Summit Fever, it was short and sharp, and that band no longer exists.
Yeah, I mean, it was the only name I recognized from a Jaeger side of things. Obviously, there's a lot more in the New Blood that we know, and a lot more bands that are still doing things like with the two kind of main ones, I guess. Well, there's more than two really, but Moon Reaper, you're definitely a big fan of, we're all fans of.
Yeah.
And Street Soldier now for me, but I didn't go to see them here because there was something else happening.
Oh, yeah. I'm like, wait, what happened? I've just seen it. Yeah, I remembered. Yep, you nailed it. Right. Okay. That brings us then to Sophie and the Dio stage. So in the Sophie, Bloodyard, Wolfblaster, Black Coast, the Enigma Division, Pest Control, Zetra, Fury, Garia, Bosk, and Candle Mass. Whereas the main stage had Witch Sorrow, Witch fucking Sorrow, Witch Hazel, Hate, Sacred Reich, Gatecreeper, Fit for an Autopsy, Cool Interview, Heaven Shall Burn, In Flames, Kill Switch Engage. I'm doing it all right. The R, folks, to explain that is because this was pre a lot of love, I think, for Heaven Shall Burn from your perspective. So had you had the opportunity to go, that's retrospective, almost like, I think we've been talking about this before that you missed them here.
Yeah, I mean, like I get onto a bit of a run basically with my life where I just look back at festivals with regret. Because they released an
no,
album.
you saw In Flames.
I'm pretty sure they like either released an album during their time of Bloodstock or like the week after it, and I was like, "This is fucking amazing." or like a year later, and I was like, "I've got to see this band," and then you go like, "Oh, they literally fucking played," and I walked past them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like
The
obviously,
big one was In Flames, wasn't it?
yeah, that's the one. I went to all on my own because everybody else wanted to go and stomp about to Street Soldier. And but I had a great time, so it was cool. The other big one, I guess, for us all here was Garia on the Sophie stage, who were fantastic. And yeah, I mean, there's a lot of these bands like, I mean, Garia have gone from fucking strength to strength. Like if they were back over playing Bloodstock now, they're not headline level, but they'd be high mid range, main stage now, wouldn't they?
Yeah, I think so. If not, maybe even headlining the Sophie stage, like something, yeah, in that ballpark. The only one like you talked about, like Heaven Shall Burn, but like Zetra, like it's no secret I'm a pretty big fan of Zetra now, but I don't think I knew the fuck Zetra were back then. I don't remember seeing them.
No, I don't remember seeing them either. And if this is the same Fury again, then they've been like, I feel like they've been at every single festival by now. And to be fair, they're still like holding a strong position at them all as well. So
okay, right. Saturday, Jaeger and New Blood. So Saturday had Jaeger, Daybreaker, Repulsive Vision, Primer, Muddy Brook, and Water Lines. Offness in the New Blood, Offness, Swarmers, Vice, Extort, Dead Blonde Stars, Broken Calling, Drowned, Soothsayer, and Naka Neka. Naka Neka. Fucking hell, what was that? That's not a good sign.
yeah.
This is the Warp Party time. Water Lines is amazing. Jägermeister showcase that was so strong that I'm not saying it got them back into Sophie, but it certainly put them on one hell of a show. I remember, I think, insisting that you guys come with us to Drown, and then it'd be like an industrial band, or maybe you were already a fan. I just remember us all dancing together all during it.
Yeah, I mean, and then outside of that, like probably Offness is the only other one that really
Openness, yeah.
stands out to me. They were great. We had a
There's a
great
couple.
time.
There's a couple there that I look at and I think, "Fuck, what happened?" Oh no, Soothsayer just released something. Actually,
Yeah,
Soothsayer just released something. So yeah, that's cool. But I look at like Dead Blonde Stars and that
yeah,
Naka. Oh. Okay,
yep.
well let's jump to the Sophie stage and new main stage. And if you're talking about sort of step up, this Sophie stage is a good example of that. Ambrius, Tortured Demon, De Grey, Tribe of Ghosts, De Kesis. I mean, there's a number of bands that have, I don't think the Grey previously, but a couple of other bands that have played lower down and then are back on the Sophie stage. Then we had Skin Fader, Casket Feeder, Gutterlax, Trollfest, and Brothers of Metal. Before the main stage had Season Akira, Urn, Royal Republic, Employed to Serve, Crowbar, Abath, Knocked Loose, Celtic Frost, Triptychon performing Celtic Frost, and Meshuggah. There's a lot to take away from this. I remember, a lot of different points of view about certain bands.
Yeah. Uh, I mean, yeah, we had that same story again here, didn't we, with Tortured Demon? And I remember also that Tortured Demon, the end of Tortured Demon was the beginning of Urn, so there was a big, like, because obviously a big Urn fan, so we wanted to get across there.
Yep.
You know, I, I mean, I definitely remember watching Crowbar and Abath, definitely Abath on the
Yep.
main stage, and thinking they were actually really having a good time. I don't remember seeing Akira, to be honest with you.
Mm.
I'm not sure if we did watch them or not, or if I know, but
We
then I
watched
remember
some and
watching
then went in there for
Ambrius.
Tortured Demon.
Yeah, and obviously not really that interested or bothered by the headliners. We watched a bit and then
Fucked
didn't
off.
last very long.
Yeah, I remember popping out. I think we had a ton of interviews, and I remember popping out briefly to watch some Triptychon from a
Hmm.
side. And I remember Employed to Serve. But yeah, I mean, it's weirdly, I mean, we must have been interviewing during Not Loose. I know Dan went to see
Yeah,
them,
yeah, that would make sense. And I do remember just
but
because
I was
I am a fan, that I popped in to watch a bit of Brothers of Metal at the end of it. So
thank you for finally, yeah, thank you for finally admitting that shame. I was waiting for you to bring that up. So I was about
why
to
is
bring
there a
it up
shame
there.
on that
But
one?
yes, because you know that band sucks, and you know
No, not this
I
band.
remember spending.
You're on about a different band. It's the other band that you think sucked. That's going to come up on a Thursday.
Oh, all
Brothers of
right,
Metal are
all
awesome,
right.
man.
Sorry, Brothers Metal. Maybe I'm wrong. But okay, let's drop the Sunday then. We're on the Jaeger stage. We have done Those Once Loyal, Dead Air, Skies Turn Black, Past the Fallen, Iron Order. On the New Blood stage with Elimination, Sangrium, Nameless, Sky Pilot, Godeth, Sentient, Outer Gods, Acid Age, Levain, and Point BHP. I mean, it's Outer Gods, Godeth, Elimination.
Guys turn black.
They're the ones that I think. Is Skies Turn Black doing anything? Have they gone quite?
Well,
Oh,
they
they
released
released
an
an album
album.
like last year, didn't they? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, it wasn't great, but like they did release it. So,
yeah, yeah. I remember your review. Yeah. Anything else?
you just say that, of course, didn't you?
Hmm.
No, I
Okay.
think you probably covered the ones we know about anyway.
Sophie and Dio stages. So Phoenix Lake Overthrown, Stengar, Tusker, Cobra the Impaler, Envisions, Cosmic Skull, Church of the Cosmic Skull, Embodiment, Zealand and Biohazard. And then we go to Sunday with the main stage, Dead Label, High, All Hail the Yeti, Tribulation, Decapitate, Ugly Kid Joe, Sepultura, KK's Priest, and Megadeth. Now I remember Zealand was the last band I saw. I remember
Hmm.
Tired, stayed for Zeal, and call it then because it was quite busy in there as well. Beyond that, Tusker, Decapitated, of course. Weirdly, I don't remember seeing. I remember seeing You High, but not Dead Label.
Oh, I remember
Oh
Dead Label
no,
very
we came.
clearly.
We
Yeah,
came out. We came out of the New Blood. We were New Blood and walked from the New Blood over. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah, good
and also
shout
like
actually.
another like full stage progression now by Dead Label all the way through. So,
Hmm. Yeah, you're
but
right.
yeah, I mean, you're right as well for us. I think I remember watching Sepultura, and then it would have been Zeal and Ardor, and that was also our last band.
Yeah, it was their debut as well, Bloodstock. So not bad. I mean, it got moved, wasn't it? Originally on a different day. I remember there was a thing about Zeal because I'm looking and
Weren't they meant to
thinking,
be on the Thursday headliner originally or something like that.
I think it was something like that. I think because remember when they got moved to Sunday, we were like, ah, that
Yeah.
sucks. Okay. 2024. All right, folks, we're almost there. Come on, stay with us. Right, Sophie Stage on the Thursday. Acid Age, Tail Gunner, South of Salem, Hell Ripper, and Evergrey. This was another drunk one for me. I know I watched some of Hell Ripper, and that's all I really remember.
Yeah, I remember watching Hell Ripper. This is another one, like not to the same level as any of the others, but like if I did watch Tail Gunner, I remember none of it. And I don't love, but I like Tail Gunner these days, so I would enjoy them now. But I remember none of it.
Yeah, it's weird because looking at it, it's like, yeah, it's not like the worst sort of, you know,
Yeah,
lineup.
we have a Thursday drink control problem.
Yeah, we're just so excited and pleased to finally be there. Do you know what I mean? You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, we got a new stage name.
Oh, of course, it's the EMP stage now, isn't it? Okay, so yeah, EMP and New Blood on the Friday. Right, so we had Lost Brethren, Lethal Evil, Crowley, King Kraken, and Mab. M-A-B. That's quite special, that one. And on the New Blood, we had Disposable by Virtue Fall, Reverent Sun, Smother, Tim White in the Deadbeats, Rogue Limb, Sleep in Motion, Kraken Waker, Hammer, Final Coil, Length, Absolence, and Born Zero. Immediate jumps out are that little section there on the EMP, Kraken, and Mab. But I also remember watching a bit of Final Coil alone. I went to see Final Coil alone in the New Blood because I think I did it was on my own. Because of someone else, and I wanted to see a bit. Remember seeing Hammer still doing well, Rogue Limb still doing well. A couple are actually doing quite well.
Yeah, I don't remember an awful lot from the New Blood, to be honest with you. I remember Hammer. I don't remember
Yep.
Final Call, but then I think I might have been at the EMP stage because I did watch Crowley, King Kraken, I think, and definitely Mab. Mab were fantastic.
Yeah. Saying that, I haven't heard exactly much from Mab since then.
No,
But
no,
then
but then they
they
had a weird story, didn't they, where they hadn't been around for like 20 years anyway, or something like that.
that's the thing. I was about to say that it's probably not that big of a deal compared to like a
Mm.
modern, like contemporary band. Okay, look at the Sophie stage on the Friday. Then we had Haxon, Burner. Oh man, this is section Burner, Death Collector, Exist Immortal, Halperon, Wolf, Darkest Era, Eternal Champion. Is that same Wolf? Do you think?
I mean,
If that's the case, then that's got to be the
it does
longest running
appear to
band,
be
right?
because even up to now, like when you hover on them, it still says Swedish heavy/power metal band. It's been saying that all the way through. So
That's got to be the most longest running band, folks. But anyway,
yeah,
Darkest Era, Eternal Champion, The Vintage Caravan, and Igor. Whereas the main stage had Desert Storm, Nervosa, Green Lung, Grand Magus, Rotting Christ, Enslaved, Hatebreed, Clutch, and Opeth. I think we probably spent a fair time at the main stage looking at this.
yeah, yeah. I remember obviously being in the Sophie stage for Burner, Death
Hmm.
Collector. But then from the main stage perspective, I remember Green Lung. I think I remember Grand Magus, Rotten Christ, obviously. And then it gets
Maybe
blurry.
then.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
we
maybe
moved around a
then.
bit.
No, I remember seeing Clutch for sure, but yeah,
Yeah.
okay, not too bad. All right, let's do up to Saturday. The EMP stage had Public Execution, Parting with Origin, Flamebearer, Rupture Farms, and Lurcher. And the New Blood had Running with Knives, Biomechanical, Stone Soup, Judgment, Convey, Praetorian, Hellbearer, Slaughterhead, Them Bloody Kids, Lost to Light, Black Hole Divers, IL, and Chubb. Lots of, this point in the time, a lot of these bands are still going to be around, but a lot of them very memorable. I saw Stone Soup at Takedown actually this year. Praetorian's still doing great stuff, regularly playing live. Dem Bloody Kids, you can't stop that band from ever playing live. Chubb just released a re-version of their single Beans. Probably the one that stands out the most, I think, and I think you'll agree with this, is probably Rupture Farms on the EMP, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was one of the best shows of the whole weekend.
It was.
So yeah, in terms of memorable, like, it was very fucking memorable. Great fun. But I haven't heard anything
Okay,
from them since, so I don't know what they're doing.
I vaguely remember. I know they played live here and there. I still think they're
Yeah.
active. I don't think it's like this. Yeah. Okay, Sophie stage then, where we have Cauldron, Unpeople, Enemies Everywhere, Ludovico Technique, Mimi Barks, Red Rum, Asamel, Combi Christ, Silosis, and Corpaclani. Holy shit. Did I see... Oh, no, let me do the main stage and then I'll come back. Deitus, Ignia, Crypta, Forbidden, Unleash the Archers, Deicide, Whitechapel, Malevolence, and Architect. So why I stopped there, folks, is I looked at that Sophie stage and I realized I may have only seen two bands. And one of them I remember not being very good, which was Silosis, and the other was Mimi Box, who obviously I'm a personal big fan of. So I don't know if I saw her alone.
I think you did actually. I remember you going off to watch her. Not like in a weird way. That kind of makes it sound weird. Just going off to watch her.
No, because later I ran into her. She was coming out of VIP, and I chased after her. Was like, "Oh, be great," you know.
Hey, it's me. I did watch Silosis with you. I remember that, and I think I remember we popped in to watch a bit of Combi Christ, but like for about 5 minutes. I don't really remember any of the early bands on there, like seeing any of them. So I don't know. We could have potentially been in and around the New Blood instead. From a main stage perspective, you know, I remember watching Ignia, Crypta, of course, Deicide, and Whitechapel. I don't remember if we watched Malevolence or not, but I remember it was obviously the year.
This is the one we were here for this. Yeah, we were here for this. This is the big circle pit.
Yeah, and the change of chairs. And of course, we watched Architects, and they were really good.
Were they?
Yeah, I really enjoyed them, and Rose really enjoyed them. So,
okay. All right, let's jump to Sunday then. So on the EMP stage, Warp Stormer, the Gallowgate Murders, Goblin Smoker, Yersin, and Lloyd's Trip. And on the New Blood stage, Straight for the Sun. Oh, I remember having to get up early for Straight for the Sun. Space Pistol, Frog Lord, Atom Smasher, Route Zero, Acadian, Divided by Design, Tenside, Dead Flesh, Crucible, Sathamel, Sempra, and Crow God. Yersin jumps out, Straight for the Sun, going to do that. Frog Lord were there, and I don't know if I saw Frog Lord then, because now I'd happily see Frog Lord. I wonder if that's just a different time. I remember Dead Flesh being fucking heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I am. I obviously I know like bands like Yersin, Sathamel, Dead Flesh, everything like that. I remember watching Dead Flesh. I remember watching Acadian, I think, and I don't really remember fuck all else.
Nope, fair enough. Let's move to the Sophie stage, where Black Lakes, Awake by Design, Moon Reaper, Uzziah, Grove Street, Anchor, Sadus, Xentrix, Infected Rain, and Satyricon all played, and the main stage had Raised by Owls, Culture Trace, Sowen, Beast and Black, Septic Flesh, the Night Flight Orchestra, Flogging, Molly. Oh, we were there for that.
Yeah.
Carcass, and a monomorph. This is a great rare example where you get to be pissy. And a monomorph headlined as well. This is a little all over the place again. I look at it and I think, I know I've been jumping back and forth, you know?
That's probably why you didn't see Frog Lord as well, looking at that, because that's Moon Reaper Clash. I would imagine you were at Moon Reaper.
Yeah, good shout.
Sophie wise, the thing is that like I remember like watching quite a lot of the main stage here, obviously at the beginning and at the end of all of this in particular. So I think Moon Reaper, and maybe Awake by Design, Moon Reaper maybe, and maybe Uzziah. No, because we probably went over for Sowen. So it might have been Awake by Design, Moon Reaper at the Sophie stage, and then Sowen. Don't remember watching Beast in Black. I'm not particularly a massive fan of them, but I do remember watching Septic Flesh, some of the Night of Black Orchestra, having forced to stand there during Flogging Molly, wondering why they'd accidentally ended up at the festival, and then obviously Carcass. And we stayed this year for a monomorph purely because it was like Rose's first time seeing them, so we stayed late.
That's in it. That's amazing. Okay, right, folks, we've got one more for you, and it's literally last year, so it should be a little bit, hopefully, more memorable. We shall see. We do drink a lot. Oh no, is this your last year was your fucked up one on Thursday? Dead Flesh, Four-Way Kill, Gnome, All for Metal is the band I hate, and Me and That Man. But you got pretty drunk, right? Am I remember this right? Is this your drunk
Oh
one?
yeah, yeah. I was smashed, man. I don't. I do
Mm,
remember a bits of Dead Flesh, like because it was the first band, but I think we were fucked by then anyway. I was
yeah.
pretty much alone for All for Metal, watching the big muscly man doing muscle things. And then we went back to the tent, and then we were like, "Oh, let's go back out again," and all that sort of stuff. And then just sat there miserable at a bench with like Nick just slowly sipping a beer because we really couldn't drink anymore.
That's such a lovely story. I do remember Dead Flesh specifically because this is
Mm.
where I pulled a muscle on my back when I lift a crowd person, and it's a muscle that still occasionally catches me if I lift anything too heavy. So I've realized my age. Don't lift crowd surfers. Anyway, right. Friday then we go to the New Blood and the New Blood and EMP stages, of course. So in EMP, Desolator, Lost Ritual, Helldown, Shrike, and Insidious Void. Whereas the New Blood had Machinist, Lowdown, Teal Deer, Compound, Stuno Wolf, Bailifer, Ogun, If It Bleeds, Rascal, Vumbra, LN, Backseat Juliet, and Devil Husk. A variety of bands that I'm like, I don't know how many I really saw. Was it might have been a little pop in and out. I know we were all there for Balefire, right?
No,
That
no,
thing's a
no,
bell.
no. There's a story about Balefire, but I remember being in there for Lowdown and Teal Deer. I don't think I
Mm,
saw anyone on the EMP stage there that day. It doesn't ring a bell anyway.
yep.
Um, we had a lot of interviews, a
We
lot, and
did.
actually we interviewed during Balefire. But I remember because I reviewed their EP just before, and it was being released on the same day. So there
Yeah.
was this whole thing like about it, and we interviewed through that. And there's a lot of stuff then that obviously
Yeah.
kind of come from that where we missed a lot of bands.
You're not wrong. Yeah. Yeah. It's easy to forget that when I look at this and go, why is there so many big
Mm,
gaps? It's because we're fucking 3 hours worth of interviews, you know? Okay, right. When we're up to right. So Sophie on the Friday, Office, Turin, Lockhorns. I remember we did all of those three. My
yeah.
Diligence, Rough Justice, Shade Empire, Iwa, High Parasite, Nail Bomb, Cataclysm. And then on the main stage, we had Shrapnel, Famine, oh my God, Convent, Flotsam and Jetsam, Paleface, Swiss, Orange Goblin, Lacuna Coil, Emperor, and Trivium. Yeah, it was a lot of Sophie and Main back and forth in between of things. Obviously, I distinctly remember High Parasite, talking to Aaron in that interview earlier in the
Hmm.
day was really, really nice. Nail Bombs was my favorite set of the weekend, if you remember. And Paleface obviously was greatly enjoying, and then obviously Dan got smashed up in
Yeah.
what was it? I can't remember what he got smashed up in. Rough Justice, maybe.
Uh,
Uh, Something anyway. A
Flotsam
band.
and Jetsam.
I don't think but yeah, it feels like there was a lot of back and forth between those two stages in between the interviews.
I think there was, yeah. I mean, in terms of the progression again, it's Offness only a couple of years ago, and the New Blood, and now they're here in the Sophie and Lockhorns as well. Obviously,
Yeah.
I remember Offness. I mean, I know we were there for all three of those first bands, but I particularly remember Offness and Lockhorns. In particular, Lockhorns
Yeah.
sounded brutal. Um, I'm pretty sure we watched maybe in the middle of touring and Lockhorns that we went over and watched some of Famine as well. But
That
obviously,
would that would make sense.
yeah, Paleface Swiss,
Oh no, we definitely
big
watched
memories.
Famine. I definitely
Yeah,
watched Famine because I insisted Dan watched them and he enjoyed them too.
yeah. Obviously, Paleface Swiss, first time for me seeing them, and like didn't really care too much for them on record, but thought they were amazing. I
Mm.
didn't watch. I watched Nail Bomb, but I could not get in the tent. I sat outside. That was the closest I could get because by the time I went across to it, it was fucking rammed. So I didn't really get the same
Mm.
experience of it as the rest of you guys. Like being outside, it was kind of like drifting music rather than experiencing it. I do remember watching Lacuna Coil as well. Just never really watched Lacuna Coil properly, and there was the whole thing with the
True.
streamers getting all stuck up on the speaker stacks and all that sort of stuff. Emperor again, and then yeah, obviously the headliner Trivium, who were very, very good.
Yep, yeah, you pretty much nailed it there. But yeah, I just want to add to the progression because you did bring it up and you rightfully keep steering me back to that. But Shrapnel and Famine, obviously, Shrapnel have been here a
Yeah,
number of times, but now they're opening the main stage and Famine appearing on the main stage as well is fantastic.
yeah, and I suppose considering I think much earlier on in the video we mentioned whether or not I'd seen Orange Goblin. Considering they've appeared now at Bloodstock about 400 times, I must have seen some of Orange Goblin.
Okay, to the Saturday, folks, and on the EMP, Thrashus Regime, Bad Smell, Rights to Ruin, Tiberius, and Crown Solace. Whereas the New Blood had Symbiote, Adfelion, Exorcism, Prodigal, Zebulon, Mantis Defeats Jaguar, Necromorph, Nothing Speaks, Fortune Teller, Head Dent, Hex, A Natural Order, Fight the Champ, and Silent. That's the silent disc at the end. Yeah.
Yep.
We were interviewing heavily again, so this was all over the place, but I know on EMP, Rights to Ruin were a big deal for me. And I remember Necromorph being absolutely brilliant in the New Blood.
Yeah, I remember watching the early ones in the New Blood, Symbiote, and I think I was on my own for Adfelion, but I had a really good time. It was like very storytelling sort of folk music, which I really, really
I
enjoyed.
remember. Yeah,
I
because
think,
I'd gone to see Under a Crumbling Moon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Sophia Main then. So Sophia had Erosis, Vent Under a Crumbling Moon, Bowl, Peng Shui, Waterlines, Phoenix Lake, Neon Fly.
That
Motherfuckers. How about that? Undeath, Breed 77, and Static X. And the main had Cage Fight the Spirit, Warbringer, Harriet, Creeper, Kubla Khan, Fear Factory, Ministry, I remember that, and Machine Head. God damn, again, it's back and forth, isn't it?
It is, yeah, very much. Obviously, I'm just trying to think. Like, I know. Obviously, I was watching Adfalion during Under a Crumbling Moon. I know we all got back together for Baal.
Well, yeah.
We probably.
I know we were interviewing during Waterlines because Lou went to see them for us.
Just kudos to Neon Fly, who are now like halfway up the Sophie Lancaster and seem to have been around for a lot longer than I realized from when they first appeared. So I don't think I really watched anything else on the Sophie stage, to be honest with you, after that. I remember watching on the main stage Warbringer, Harriet,
Yep.
some of Creeper, and then staying for most of Creeper because Rose was really enjoying it. I did not watch Kublai Khan. I watched some of Fear Factory. It was just me and Nick for that, though. You guys must have been watching some. I think you guys might have gone to Head then, or
Probably something like that, yeah. Oh, no, Rights to Ruin. Rights to Ruin.
Yeah. And then you and I watched some of the Ministry sort of from afar just to kind of watch it. And I'll be honest with you, it weren't great.
It won't.
Obviously, we were all together for the headliner.
Yes, that was a very fun headliner as well. Should add, Cage Fight. We did all watch a Cage Fight as well because remember us together. I think from a progression thing, like the biggest one that we should point out is probably Waterlines.
Yeah.
That's from EMP to Sophie and mid Sophie as well, not like first on.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you can go further back, if you go by the original band as well,
Yeah. Okay, and that brings us to the last section, folks. And it's a Sunday, and we are starting with the EMP, which had Z Machine, Fon, Orm, Matkar, and a 500 on Matkare, the 500. New Blood had the Cartographer, Spitting Teeth, Theocrocide, Ocean Planet, Ryzen, Monochrome, Surya, Headcount, Koba, Prayers, Speaking Whispers, Ruled by Raptors, and Bad Earth. Yeah, I mean, I remember insisting that people should come and see Orm. I don't know if you did, but I know others did. And I think we're all together. We're there for Makari on the EMP.
We were, yeah. I didn't come. I don't remember coming to see Orm. I know you and Dan went, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work out where I might have been.
Oh,
I know where I was.
All right.
Yeah, main stage.
Oh, I think I know where you were as well. Okay, yeah. All right. Well, on in the New Blood, little tougher. Monochrome, pretty sure I saw them.
I don't. Yeah, not really much for me. Like I. The thing is, I definitely spent a lot of time on the main stage here, and the couple of gaps in it, I can see bands that I would probably have been at, either Matt Kari or like maybe a band or two on the Sophie stage.
I think
yeah,
it was one of our stronger years on the main on the main stage, and I think we acknowledged that before we went into the festival.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's jump to the Sophia main then, because on the Sophie had Apathy UK, Barbarian Hermit, Frail, Wall, Dogma, Lowen, Siglos, Throne, 3 Inches of Blood, and Obituary. Whereas the main had Ghost of Atlantis, One Machine, Rivers of Nile, August Burns Red. I'm not saying that band for
Harsh
Brendan.
ones.
Thank
Harsh
you. The Black
ones.
Dahlia Murder, the Black Dahlia Murder, Lord of the Lost, and Mastodon and Gojira. So, oh, right. What jumps out? So I remember seeing, right. So I remember seeing a few bands in the Sophie, Lowen. I remember being in there for Dogma and planning to see and watch a little bit of them, but I think I was on my own and this tent was filling up. And you know, I think I remember abandoning it and being decided, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. So I think that's what happened there. But the main, obviously, we were all there for Ghosts at
Yep.
the start. I remember seeing Rivers. I think I remember watching some of August Burns Red. We were definitely together for Black Dahlia. And I
Yep.
might have, and I remember went to see Mastodon on a bit of Mastodon on my own. And we were all back together for Gojira. I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, sounds about right. I mean, obviously, like you said, Ghost, Rivers of Nile. I was definitely there for Five Ones, Black Dahlia Murder. Rose really wanted to see Lord of the Lost, so we hung about and watched some of that. Didn't particularly love it. It was okay, but I don't know where I went for Mastodon. Maybe food or something like that. Obviously,
Hmm.
um, yeah, can't really remember. And then, yeah, like you said, I was back for Gojira. Obviously, 3 strong headliners in a row. So it was also the first time we stayed over the Sunday night. Didn't want to be at Gojira and not have a drinking around. So
That was true. That was true. And it was bloody good. So it's been a insane run. And my throat is fucked. So that is about all we're gonna say about this, folks. We've just gone through, hopefully, covered every part of the festival from our perspective. And we haven't touched upon 2026, to say, because that's for the future. There's no reason to be talking about it right now. It's a separate video. The festival lineup isn't complete yet because there's still Metal to the Masters to be finalized anyway. So we'll get to that when we do. But for now, I have to say thank you for watching this if you bothered, because fucking hell. Yeah, and you've got your own memories, you know what to do. Let us know some in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. We really do appreciate it. If you like what you've seen, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. It does make a difference. Of course, you can find us at gbhbl.com and across almost all social media platforms. So do check us out there. If you really, really want to support us, though, consider buying us a coffee over on our coffee page. Thank you very much.